Yes, good people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Blue Morning show, specifically another Chelsea transfer. What we missed out yesterday because they say health is more important. So I had to take a day break to recover fully. As you can see, I'm still sounding a bit stuffy, but that's fine. We're here to talk about Chelsea Football Club. I hope you all are doing well. It's transfers, it's anything related to Chelsea Football Club, but we'll try to keep it aligned. We're going to move on to that. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, thank you already to the only person in the chat here, Santiago Muno. I see you. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. And he says, big up to Chilla, big up to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. And Andrew Phillips of Pochettino destroying the club. He's an agent. Look, I'm tired of being a negative here. I'm not sure, reading negative comments. I'm not sure why you're saying that. How is it destroying the club? Please, if you're in the chat, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. Sincerely, do appreciate that. If you're just joining, and for those of you that are watching, but for one reason or the other are not able to participate in the chat, just remember we appreciate you because you provide great value to the channel. But if you can do us one more favor, which is just to take a second and to drop a like on the stream, would really appreciate that. Thank you so much for finding the time to join the show. So keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. Santiago, big up to you. You're entitled to your opinion, but I'm not going to read such comment again because I think it's really not necessary at this point. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The first item we're going to talk about here is Christopher Nkunku. This is a different thing. One where he was asked or with regards concerning talks that he signed with Chelsea. His response was that his focus is to collect. He used the word specifically, collect with the French national team. And once he's done with that, then he'd have time to think about other things. But this one says from I'm not sure where this one is where it's from, but it says that Simon Phillips reporting that. It says Christopher Nkunku, I play where the coach decides. I don't want it to be a problem, but a solution. But I can be in front, in support, or on the sides. I have I have this ability to adapt it. I like to be free. So yeah, which means we could have people arguing the reason why that João Felix Chelsea did not opt to keep João Felix was because we have a Christopher Nkunku coming in. It just doesn't make sense. To me, I'd still argue the reason is simple. We just do not have the luxury to sign Christopher Nkunku, but a lot of people will tell you, well, we'll let him to sign. What's his name? João Felix. A lot of people say we did not opt to keep João Felix because we have Christopher. No, I've always known we can actually have them both. Either both of them are also equally good at playing on the flanks or centrally if you want them to. But that's, by the way, I think we signed them. That report, the other report, sounds a bit concerning to those that are skeptical whether we've signed him or not. That report where he says he's currently with the French national team collecting, and once he's done with that, and he'd have time to think about everything else. That sounded skeptical. I'm not worried. I think we signed him. It's a signed, sold. Just the delivery is all that's left. I don't want to go through that again. It's that time of the year, Coach. How is your health? I'm way better now. Thank you for asking. And Jerry Z, always nice to see you. I appreciate you. JC, nice to see you. I'm good, and I hope you're good too. Thank you for joining. Chip Chilla said Constantine Dante. Always nice to see you, brother. Judging by Lukaku's performance, that's a problem. Not even the Saudis. Not even the Saudis would want him. I think I agree with you. I'm going to say something that my friend Tom Overend said on Twitter. Lukaku, I think he said something to the effect of Lukaku has unfinished business at Inter Milan. He should go back there. I think I'm going to find the tweet and share it when I get a chance. That is just hilarious. Let me see if I can find it quickly. I think, yep, it's this one here. But keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And if you haven't, do subscribe to the channel. Would really appreciate that. Just quickly here, I want to open this and then go back to the other window so it's ready for when I want to look at it. So Christopher Nkunku, for me, I've always said, given the reports and you can say the public statements are made by the Leipzig president and other individuals, you could say, who have good knowledge of the deal. To me, everything signifies, everything signifies that it's done. Yeah, I agree. I think I like that one. I'm gonna argue it's one of the delicious comments of the day. Even the Saudis will not want him, but I think the Saudis may still want him. But I get where you're coming from. He was awful. Literally, you could say playing against his team. And Inter Milan, they've actually changed their tone. I've always suspected that they were just praising Lukaku and all that, to the extent they did before the Champions League final, because he may well end up being the game changer. Probably the thinking behind that may well have been that there's a chance he comes, he showed he'd be the game changer on the day. But yeah, it turns out he actually played against them. That's how I see it. Hi to you too, Constantine Dante. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're better, Coach. I'm way better, but just as you can hear from the tone of my voice, you can sense that I'm a bit still. I'm stuffy a little bit, but I think it's clear enough. It's one of I think it's that period of the year where my 2-year-old always comes back from the daycare with one thing or the other every week. I don't think Lukaku is a right fit for us. He's never been, and I don't think he'll be. He's struggled to perform in big games and hasn't shown the consistency we need. We should consider other options to strengthen our team. I think the same. But yeah, let's see what the club does. I think they want him off our books, but it's not easy. If we decide to do that which means we have to pay him off. And then as we learned the other day when I was thinking, okay, if the Saudis want him, he may well say, oh, you know what, I want to buy off. You say, I want to terminate my contract, something to that effect. But because I'm not too sure how the contract thing works, but Max Button educated us that he'd have to buy out his contract if that's the case. Yeah, Lukaku is well past that stage that he can fit into any system. I think any pajamas. I think that's another funny way to put it. Unfortunately, yeah, it's gotten to this level. He's going to come back and be our problem until we'll find a solution to that. Any idea what was printed on the white T-shirt which Lukaku was wearing on the Inter shirt? I didn't see that. He never got a chance to unfurl it. Yeah, to show it, maybe it was something like, I like Inter, I want to stay at Inter, maybe I'm not coming back to Chelsea, I don't really know. Maybe some cryptic stuff. Lukaku will always be Lukaku. Or maybe something he had planned that he was going to show us Chelsea fans, that he's better off at Inter. I'm not too sure, but I didn't see it. yeah, why always me like Mario Balotelli? Maybe. Yes, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Sincerely do appreciate you all finding the time to join in the show. And I hope you're all eating blue, sleeping blue, waking up blue, and overall living the blue life because that's the way to live. We don't need Lukaku. His passes has been good. Even when he was in best of forms, I never liked him as a player, but that's just me. That's my opinion. There are others that like him. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 21 likes already. That's a good sign. Let's try and get it to 100 as soon as possible. Since we're shooting for 300, we've been averaging at least 300, 200, 100 likes for the past since we started talking transfers, which is always the case. It's a seasonal thing. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. Look at that tweet I was telling you about from my friend Tom Overend. I saw it and I couldn't really stop laughing. It just spoke everything I had in my mind. Since it's always, it's Inter Milan, Inter Milan, Inter Milan, Inter Milan all the time. And yeah, Tom Overend says Romelu Lukaku needs to return to Inter Milan. He has unfinished business. I'm going to just remix it a bit. He has unfinished business there at Inter Milan. Chelsea should let him return to Inter Milan. That's how I feel. He said on million, a billion times that he wants us to stay at Inter Milan. The only thing he just hasn't put it in this way that he doesn't want to go back to Chelsea. But it's easy to see what he wanted to say whenever he says he wants to remain at Inter and all of that. He's just ruined the business for us. Inter knows he wants to leave Chelsea. He's not willing. He doesn't want to come back to Chelsea Football Club. Which means if we ever decide, if we find buyers, buyers would be willing to pay peanuts for him. Unfortunately, we've been, you can say they've done us dirty. Pochettino and Emma Hayes are getting a head-to-head in the Soccer Aid game today. I saw a great picture of both of them in the game advertisement. It's going to be an exciting match. One, if I have time and if it's on TV, I'd see it. I'm not sure if it's on TV. But thank you, Jerry, for pointing that out. I really do appreciate that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Big up, guys. I'm getting you loud and clear. Give us updates, and that is Desmond Murati. Desmond, always nice to see you. Yes, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes will go a long way. I have Bobby on the panel already. Bobby, I hope you're better than you were the last time you were on the panel here. We've been praying for you, and lots of people wishing you well in the chat. But I know probably you must have seen that yourself. Bobby, if you're ready, I'm going to start you immediately by discussing Christopher Nkunku's comments. That just brought to mind my argument that if we really wanted to keep Joao Felix, we would have kept him because he's also the same as Nkunku. He can play as a 9, a hybrid 9 if you prefer. He can play as a second striker. He can play on the flanks. He can play as a 10. Felix also can do the same, which simply means we could have actually decided had Felix stayed, we wouldn't have a problem having them both in our squad because both can play in different positions. If you want me to read, I'll just read what Christopher Nkunku says here. I play where the coach decides. I don't want it to be a problem, but a solution. I like that part of his statement there. But I can be in front in support or on the sides, which means the flanks. I have this ability to adapt. To adapt to it. I like to be free. So to me, like I've always argued, we didn't keep Felix because probably we didn't have the luxury, and it would have just been a signing that was signing. It would have just been a luxury signing at this point, given where we're at. At least that's my opinion. But what are your thoughts? What do you make of this coming up from Nkunku with regards to us deciding opting not to keep Joao Felix?
Yeah. Pick up, guys.
Big up to you too.
Thank you for your wishes. I'm getting there slowly.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, What I'm seeing happening at Chelsea, this is the tail end of a total squad revamp. The
Hmm.
squad we'll see at the start of the coming season will not be what we are used to. It's going to be consisting of largely changed personnel. And the fact that it's going to be trimmed down, at least to create that first 25, 26 members of the squad that will need to be integrated together within that first season. Yeah, I
Hmm.
can see what he plans to do with Nkunku. A lot of this is, what Chelsea's like, injury permitting and so on. But I think the player conditioning is going to be a huge part of the preseason to take us into the next season because the players' conditions last season was very bad. People like Nkunku, who may be a little bit more of a mainstay than others, are going to need to be very, very fit. During the Champions League final yesterday, I made a deliberate tweet on Twitter to expose the fact that, you know, Man City have people like Calvin Phillips sat on the bench, uh, 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 Julian Alvarez sat on the bench. What's the guy that came off the bench? On his name, the England right back. All these luxury of players sat on the bench. Please, Chelsea fans, stop complaining about our players on the bench. That's part of the strength of the team, part of the efficiency of the team, part of the team being able to win high honors. I reiterate, just as Pochettino has already sent that warning out, players are paid to train. Through your training, then you, if it's according to tactics, get a playing spot on match day. You are employed by Chelsea Football Club. That's the entity. That's the power with which the fans are supposed to support. But sadly, Chelsea Football Club, I think more than most clubs, we have too many followers and not enough supporters. And so we have this scenario when even now, this is what I'm preempting with squad building, where especially when the season starts, August, September, going into October, a lot of players will be on the bench. They will not come and they will not start. Some of them will play sometime, but they will not start. It's only later on in the season that they will start. This is normal for a super club. You want to play game in, game out, go and play for a bottom half club. We are in the bottom half, we don't belong there. Our aspirations are the lofty heights of football. So, I see what Pochettino hopefully is trying to do. I see the role he would hopefully give Nkunku, who will probably be one of the more key players, and his condition would need to be tip top. That's all I have to say about that, to be honest.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate that. And my bro, Tebejo from the Medieval Land is in the house. Because, bro, I hope you're doing well. We're always fighting on Twitter, but when you come up to the panel here, sometimes we fight, but almost always friends. But I like the Twitter fight with you. If you're listening to Bejo, this comment, I'm just, talking about it because it brings to mind the fact something we've always known. We've always known that Nkunku is a versatile player. He's able to play centrally as a 10, as one of the eight if you want. He can play on either flanks. He can also play as a 9, as a second striker. To me, the bunks the argument that will let João Felix go because Nkunku is coming. I'd say, to me, in my opinion, I'd say it was just because we could not afford João Felix. It would have been just what most people would see as a luxury signing and too expensive, probably even on loan alone. But your thoughts, if you wanna add to that, say anything with regards to that. Otherwise, we'll move on. No problem.
Yeah, big up, coach. Big up,
Big up to you too, brother.
Bobby. to 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 be honest,
Hmm.
guys, this I hope Pochettino doesn't have a plan of using Nkunku as a first nine. We've done that so many times of this thing of a first nine.
Hmm.
Never worked for us. So hopefully this time is either we buy a striker, and if we can't buy a striker, use Broca or Fofana there as a number nine, and let
Hmm.
Nkunku play the number 10 as a free role, where he can be creative and score goals. But this thing of a first nine, I'm over it because we've tried it under Thomas Tuchel, even Potter tried it. It's not working for us. So
No, here's what I'm going to say quickly. I'm reading this, just seeing it from the perspective of with regards to us not keeping João Felix. Some people are arguing we had to let him go because Nkunku is coming, but for me, I've always known that's not the case. But you go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, you are right. First of all, as I said it before on your channel, the
Mhm.
time Chelsea got João Felix for a loan, they extended his contract. Clearly, they want more money. If
Mhm.
a first team wants him, so why would we risk buying João Felix while it's not our necessity? It's not our priority. Let's get our priorities first, and then if there will be a space for him, cool. We can go for him and get him another loan or buy him with the asking price. But now at the moment, I think we need a midfielder, a goalkeeper, and a striker, a solid striker,
It would have been
coach.
a sign. It would have been a signing that that would not make any sort of sense, especially at this point where we find ourselves. But thank you for that. Big up, guys. I am okay. I've read that one. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 31 likes already. Let's keep it going. Lucy Catherine says, "Big up, coach. Big up to you too, Lucy. Thank you for finding the time to join the show. Appreciate that." Nkunku is a versatile player. He can play anywhere. I think, yeah, we've always known that for a while. To me, I just want to, touch, revisit that argument that we let him go. We let João Felix go because Nkunku is coming. It just doesn't, that argument just do not make any sort of sense. Big up, coach says Chelsea all the way. And Bobby, we will be back. I am sure about that. I think you and I are the same. I've always known, to me, I've always felt like being concerned with the club's immediate future. For the long term future, I've always said, I know the future is bright, so bright that you need safety glasses to look at them. Big up, Coach and Bobby. We will be back. I believe you. And Jerry Z comes back again. He says, Coach, the revised work of analyzing and writing various articles will be completed within the next 24 hours. Take all the time you need. It's not an application. You just decided to be part of the community to help the community grow, not because you're getting paid or anything. So take all the time you need. Yeah, let's hope Chelsea doesn't pull off any surprise signings, which means you have to rewrite the article again, and would demand further editing. Probably rewriting it depends on what happens. Big up to you too, Giovanni Zafta. I hope you're doing well, Giovanni. This is a big up to you too, Eugene. Eugene, is that your real picture? You let us know what do you think about Onana, a problematic character. In what sense? The doping issue he had when he was still with Ajax. To me, if the club looks beyond that, I don't have a problem with that. So I'm not sure what to make of that. How to answer that question? We are not with Nkunku as a 10. He will play up front in the middle or on the right hand side, which means to probably still be looking for a 10. But let's see what happens. Coach, I tell you, some Chelsea fans are not a proper Chelsea. Uh, you can say you have every right to argue that, but for me, fans I have every right to be frustrated. Sometimes you see some negative stuff, then you'll be asking your questions: do these people support the club at all? I have people I know that are staunch supporters of Chelsea Football Club, and I've seen them say some negative stuff. Then when I look at them, I'll go, "Wait, what? Is this the same person that said this?" So it's natural, and I don't go to the extent of saying that anybody isn't a real Chelsea fan, because when the moment of frustration sets in, you see people still probably not behaving rationally because of they're frustrated or something. Pochettino doesn't work with a false nine. He worked with, again, you can say a complete number nine setup, but not your stereotypical number nine. But we'll find out. Nobody ever thought that Pep Guardiola will end up working with such number nine as Erling Haaland. Some people bring up the argument, but he's still very young and can easily adapt his game. And you can say he's improved since he joined Man City. Actually, it's not all power and finishing this time. I think he's doing more than those things. So keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along with 32 likes. If you haven't, please drop a like on the stream. And if you're watching, but for one reason or the other, not able to participate in the chat, please, if you can, it takes just half a second to drop a like on the stream. Would really appreciate that. City had difficulty breaking the interpress yesterday. Can see role Kovacic can play. Kovacic, like Bobby Roger would say, will be plug and play at Man City in the team. We will miss cover. This is one player in my book to remind coaching panelists given 1.5 years. Look, I've always known he was going to leave. Do I want him to leave? No. I would say point all the 10 players at Chelsea, I'd say sell, and I still come back saying keep Kovacic, because I see football beyond the surface level. But I knew he was going to leave because we've heard the rumors before. Let me just say I suspected he was going to leave. We've heard the rumors before that he was looking for a challenge. Plus, you can say I haven't heard any talks with regards to him putting pen to paper for a new long-term contract at Chelsea. So those things put together led to me believing that he will most likely leave and stay at Chelsea. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Felix, I think he's a superstar and he wants to play every game. But in reality, he's not that good. But I'm not sure, in your opinion, I get it, but I'm not sure where you get that. So it's, yeah, but you just ended it with your opinion. That's just an assumption, if you ask me. Keep dropping the hung get together. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 33 likes. Let's get it to 100 as soon as possible. If Onana is willing to shave that beard or for CFC, then he should be taking over Kepa without any second thought. I think he's a good goalkeeper. Big up to you too, my bro DJ. Big up. Always nice to see you, bro. I hope you're doing well, and thank you for finding the time to join the show. Yep.
Did you see how Onana playing those forward passes? Man, it's like a number 6. Those passes.
He's an excellent baller overall, and he's so calm on the ball. He's so calm on the ball that you say that you could say to an extent where at one point I was scared that he was going to make a mistake. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Oh man, those passes! I was watching yesterday. You know what? I said today I'm gonna watch him closely because it's a big match. He might do mistakes. Yes, he done some mistakes, passing errors. But again, his forward passes are more effective because he beat press with one pass. Boom! They create a chance. Unfortunately, they couldn't finish those chances. But again, those passes, oh my days. Oh
when
my
on the carpet, whether in the air, he's able to find whatever player he's looking to find on the pitch. I think he's excellent. He's excellent on the ball. You could argue actually I know he's underrated in terms of his ability on the ball. He's probably one of the best globally. But go ahead if you were still talking. Coach Inzaghi is a good coach. I think he is. His tactical setup was amazing. If Poch don't work fully, I don't mind him. I think that game was as boring as it was because it was a tactical battle. Pep wasn't going to risk too much by playing just trying to keep it beautiful all the time. I think it was a bit more pragmatic than I expected them to be, and that was, you could argue, that was why they was able to nick a win, a 1-0 win. Chelsea and Italian managers have a love story. Yeah, I think you could say our most successful managers have always been, except for Thomas Tuchel, he makes a difference there. But it's you can say Italian managers have always been successful at Chelsea. Ranieri was the one that won us the first Champions League. Mauricio Sarri, he won us a trophy. Antonio Conte won us a trophy. And you named them. But keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Hey, DJ, hey to you too. Lukaku must not come back. He made a seated win. He missed an open goal. Yeah, opportunity. Lautaro Martinez is stingy. Here's the thing. I knew that was always going to be a problem. Before Lukaku went back to Inter, Lautaro had already become his own man. He became the main guy at Inter before Lukaku returned, and it'd be difficult for him to go back to just being the provider for Romeo Lukaku, if that makes sense. And what does Onana's beard have to do with his performance? Did I miss anything? I think he's just joking. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes go a long way. I am surprised his previous manager at Ajax is not taking Onana to United, given, the highest performance sometimes can be world class, sometimes it can just be shocking. Looking for a goalkeeper must be something Erik ten Hag knows which others done. I don't know. If my club wants him, I'm all for it. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom in a bit so that we can switch the topics. I cannot believe Inter did not score yesterday. They had opportunities yesterday. You could say the first few opportunities in the game were for Inter Milan, really. Remember, people, to drop the like and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. We're 37 likes. If we're going to get 300 likes, we should be at 150 now. So keep dropping the likes on the stream. What else do we have here? Hello to you too, Snow Ghost. Thank you for joining. Onana's character gives a little Lukaku vibes. Okay, I don't know him that well to say, okay, I know he's able to do this or the other thing. My question for people who think that Big Mike, Magic Mike, Mike Maignan is better in this position based on a FIFA game. It's your real and honest opinion between. I don't know who is better between them. But I never take my time to focus. I think I like your honesty there with that particular comment. Chelsea should not follow big names. When we missed Orate, we should have more options. I think I agree with you, and that's where I like where I heard Pochettino did. But we'll get to talk about that in a bit. Maignan is a better shot stopper, and Onana is the better distributor. I think the manager will prioritize the latter. As long as he's good at stopping shots and all that, he will take them. Since both is a good combo for a manager like Mauricio Pochettino. Coach, this is a question for the panel and you. I was thinking the other day, but do you feel Poch could be the one to give a Pep a run for his money? I think he's proven he's able to beat him. That's how I see it. I think he can, and not just him. A lot of managers, if they spend well, a lot of teams this year, you can say, are in transition in the past season, so to speak. I think he's capable of doing that. I don't know if anybody else on the panel wants to add whether they think Poch can give Pep a run for his money, but I don't think you'd see that in the coming season. If I see it, I'd take it. I think we need more time. Poch needs at least a season, but I think even though he's new and lots of new players, and probably will add to the number of new players we have at the club. I think he's well equipped to get us to do better than a lot of people expect us to do. And plus, also, I think we need to be strategic in the market. I've said this a billion times, and I'm going to keep saying it. As long as we're strategic in the transfer market, I think we'll buy players that will help us solve the issues we have, and then we'll do better. Big up to you, to the Breach CFC. Always nice to see you. I appreciate you finding time to join the show. We really should be looking at goalkeeper now, we have a plenty. You said we really should not be. Okay, we have plenty. It's not a priority now. Defensive midfielders, center forwards are more important. Here's the thing. I think the goalkeeping department, you could argue, is a priority. Mendy, Kepa is on a wage that the club probably would like to drop and get someone who's equally good or close as good, and or even better, that won't be earning that much. Mendy has refused to put pen to paper for a new contract, and I don't blame him. If it just sounds the fact that he rejected outright the offer that the club had on the table for him showed they had something that probably he feels doesn't, you could say, match the work he's doing for the club. And he ended up moving on. Those are not world-class goalkeepers, and not that much upgrade on what we have. That's your argument. Constantine Dundee, always nice to see you. Enzo needs a partner first. That the most important signing. I think they're working at that, but I don't think the focus will be on a particular area. I think they can work on those areas that need reinforcement simultaneously and still, sign good players. The player and fit. I think, yeah, I agree. He needs a good partner that will be more defensive minded, which will allow him the independence to be more adventurous and get closer to the final third. I think he can help get more assists, more goals. I watched the video from before, but other coach, we have a little fear for Pep. Poch, for some reason, never. He's always been attacking and never opted to be, you could say, deploy a defensive approach and hope to hit the opposition on the break. I think I like him, but let's see what he does. Coach Onana was showing toys, was throwing toys out of what? Out of a problem, flashing at CFC. Okay, while still important player at Ajax, CFC was going for Mendy. Onana tried his best to ditch Ajax and track CFC. Okay, I think it's a concerning behavior because as long as I deem it a bad behavior, then I wouldn't want him to behave in such a manner if he becomes a Chelsea player. So I agree with you. This is the problem. We're not good in the situation. We need a rebuild midfield, the most important area. So this summer going to be most important for 10 years. I think I agree with you. Plus, let's see what the club does in the market. Today, we need to speak of this Colwill hype that's going on. He's the Jack Wisher of centre backs. That is just your opinion. I just need the panelists to compare Colwill versus Batashile per 90 minutes stats. Wow. I think I have to do a video on that too, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Let me highlight that. If we have time, we will address that. And Chelsea Club should quick and fast to get players they need on time, and also get into preseason early. I think preseason has a fixed date that is going to start. That doesn't change. The good thing is that we have more games to play this time than we did the last time. The last time we, lots of traveling with less game time. You could argue that didn't help our new signings and didn't help the manager to prepare the teams very well. Colwill is good, but are we really going to miss out on Caicedo for a CB like we should throw him in the deal and get Moisés Caicedo? Here's the thing: whatever happens comes down to the priorities of the club. If the priority is to get a midfielder and not get you could say a centre back, we may end up seeing a situation where Colwill becomes a Brighton player, and we sign Caicedo. I think the only thing that gives us two things maybe are the Brighton connection at our club that helped scout and sign Caicedo for Brighton. That works for us now. It's one advantage, but I don't think that's enough. Another advantage also is the fact that they won Colwill and we won when we won Moisés Caicedo. Those are just two things. But here's where the problem lies: the player's preferred destination, you can say, trumps everything. Because if he doesn't want to come to us, forget it. Even though Brighton wants Colwill, even if we decide to say, okay, you can keep Colwill, let's factor that into the negotiations of Moisés Caicedo. It's still not going to be that easy because if the player doesn't want to come to us, it's a problem, really, a huge one. If you understand what I mean. I see Anything else here? Big up Kuchila, big up to you too, Chelsea. Although I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. It's trying to say that Colwill is English. I'm not going to even get into that argument before I have something like I'm the one saying what anybody's saying. I thought Nkunku has already signed for Chelsea, according to some people. I think he's already signed. I get it. That comment, you can say that report, presenting something to the effect of him saying, yeah, he's currently with the French national team collecting. I think that's the exact word that was used in that particular report. I don't know if it is, some maybe it's translated from French to English, and then saying after that that he'd have a lot of time to think of what happens next. I think it's just him just not letting people know that he's joined Chelsea already. If that isn't the case, I'll be shocked, really. Chevon, is that Chevon? I think I need my glasses. I can't see the screen clearly from this distance. Chevon Colwill up to 50 million or more. I'm not sure the club's valuation of Colwill. Hit the like button, people, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're 50 likes. Remember, we're shooting for 300 likes. Let's make it happen. The next item we have lined up here is this one. Yep, Romeo Lukaku. I like this. I had to highlight this. I like this tweet from a friend, Tom Overend, one of those that helped the community quite a lot. When we still had about, you can say, was it 400, 250? So I appreciate Tom quite a lot. Tom says Romelu Lukaku needs to return to Inter next season. He has unfinished business. Chelsea should let him go. I think that's the case, but it's not going to be easy to just let him go. Inter for a while has bent us over, and he helped them do that. I'm not sure how else to phrase that, not to give a picture of what probably you're watching and want to hear. But let me start with you before I go to Bobby. Tobeho, I know you're ready to speak already. Where we find ourselves, I knew that Inter were just singing him praises before the Champions League finals because they want him to be in good spirit. Because they don't know, you can say they weren't too sure at that point if he was going to be the game changer for them or whether Edin Dzeko would get the job done. Now they're going back to saying, first of all, he has to go back to Chelsea. That's nonsense. But your thoughts with the Lukaku situation, it's a difficult one. That's how I see it. But you go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one. Even though people seems like this situation is simple, it's never gonna be simple because negotiations are not simple as people think. So, for me personally, I would rather I wish for him to go back to Inter Milan. But if I was Chelsea to protect my club now, and for example, we need a goalkeeper, I was gonna tell Inter Milan, look, let's cut this crap out, loans stuff. Give me Onana, we give you Lukaku. A sub deal, simple as
Can
that.
I ask you
If
something
not,
quickly? Can I ask you
yes,
something quickly? Being
yes.
truthful, if you were Inter Milan president, would you take Lukaku and give us Onana?
It depends. Let's say for example, Luciano Martinez is being
Lukaku
linked to.
practically doesn't have anything sizable in terms of his market value. And I'm sure you know that, but go ahead with your response. I'm waiting for you.
Yes, I agree with you, but again, coach, Luciano Martinez is being linked to several clubs. So let's say, for example, another club come bid for him and then they take him. So should they remain with Eden Dzeko, who is 37 years old now? I'm not sure, but again, remember, Inter Milan need to be careful here. They need to sell players in order to balance their books. Whether they've won the league or the Champions League, they still have to sell. They're in so much debt at the moment, so they need to sell key players in order to generate money. But again, another
Here's
offer.
the key point here. They need to sell
Yes,
key players to generate money. Deciding to buy Lukaku doesn't help them, which means they will forfeit some of the money we owe them. And I'm sure it's probably less than 17 million this year. Last year it was about 17 million plus. But forget about Romeo Lukaku's current market value. Inter doesn't care. We have an agreement to what's the term I'm looking for? We have an agreement to oblige by, but for lack of me not remembering the correct term for it. But here's the thing: they don't care. They wouldn't want any player exchange with Lukaku. If we want any player from them, we saw that last transfer window. We'd have to pay them to take that player off of them. They're not into any swap deals. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Okay, another scenario for me. I give you the first one with DS update. If they don't take that scenario, another situation. We buy Onana. Let's say for 40 million, they get Lukaku on loan with option to buy. If not, I'm gonna be honest. Chelsea need to be honest now. They should tell Lukaku, since he's been represented by his lawyer, they need to tell his lawyers and Lukaku himself, look, we're gonna sell you. If Inter not gonna agree to our terms, we're gonna sell you. They rather buy you, or we don't care what happens to you. Because remember, this is a for us now is a bargain for us. Lukaku brings a lot of problems for Chelsea, so we need to get it.
Is it a bargain for Inter? That's the thing. I don't think they do anything exchange, and they're not going to try to buy Lukaku. You said it yourself, but go ahead with what you were saying, bro.
Yeah, and if not, we're gonna tell Inter Milan we're gonna just wait for another offers from other clubs, and then see what we're gonna happen. Since Saudi Arabia have a lot of money, maybe they can bid for Lukaku, and then we get money, and then we buy another striker. I'm so tired with doing madness negotiation with Inter Milan because let's say it's right. They robbed us here. How can you buy a player with 100 million? The following season will learn back to them. No.
Lukaku didn't help. Making the public statement that you want to leave your current club doesn't help. It doesn't help your market value. It doesn't help. You can say, let me say, from the perspective, of the selling club, it doesn't help how much the club are able, Chelsea, the club will be able to get from your sale, if that makes sense. I'm going to get Bobby's talking a bit. We're discussing the dinosaur in the room, the mammoth in the room, like Roger would like to say. The Prince is here. Big up to you, the Prince. I hope you're doing well. I want to get your thoughts, your opinion on the Lukaku situation. I'm not a fan of Lukaku in that type of striker, but people are hypocritical. Anyone remember what Haaland missed against Madrid at Etihad with head and chances against Arsenal? Let's be realistic. I'm not saying Lukaku is a bad player, but it hasn't worked. I think we can do with a much better, a much complete player. To me, my biggest problem with Lukaku is that he's just your stereotypical striker, not able to really participate in the play, and not able to do anything special if space isn't there for him and behind the opposition defensive line. If Colwill doesn't want to stay at Chelsea, he should leave for 15 million. Get who? Daisisi get Lukeba or Daisisi for Lyon and Monaco, respectively. I don't know these players. You should be educating me via Twitter, man, so that I can start looking at this prospect. You can say potential signings you're talking about, or good players you're talking about. Something. What was it? I was going to say it, but I want us to stick to the current topic, please. Going back and forth, a topic doesn't help. It can be tiring as much as I like interacting with you. To be honest, to allow this guy to go, he doesn't look like someone that's ready to change things, especially with Chelsea. He doesn't look like he wants to come back to us. Castillo Lukeba, okay. We have agreed to personal terms with Onana. Yep, we'll talk about that in a bit, whether to believe that or whether it's absolute nonsense, I don't know. We have owned Inter Milan a UEFA Champions League add-on if he won last night. I'm not sure. I don't know. The same way Barca and Liverpool a 20 million add-on when Coutinho won the UEFA Champions League while on loan with Bayern, scoring against Barca in the 8-2. Yeah, floor mopping. I remember that one. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's on his contract. His long contract. Onana should stay clear of the Sekis and a mess of a club. Okay, but we're talking about Lukaku right now. Coach, Eugene's photo is better than your desktop image. That's you saying that Eugene is. I'm not sure to say how I feel about this, but that's by the way. I'm going to move on. Your thoughts about the Lukaku situation? Eugene looks like he's okay. I'm moving on from that. In fact, I'm so surprised to see Onana yesterday. At times, played as a midfielder. This guy, I think he's an excellent ball player. If that makes sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Swap Onana for Lukaku. That swap will never ever happen, and I've explained why. And I think what's his name? I think my bro Tabejo, he's explained the why too. I think here's the thing: the Inter needs to sell to get some money, and I don't think they will with a swap there. But let's give it a shot. I mean, if you don't buy tickets, you're never gonna win lottery. After seeing yesterday's performance, Saudis aren't giving Lukaku. I don't think they'll buy him, but probably because of the name. They're looking for names. More importantly, it doesn't matter how old you are or how bad you are at this point. Lukaku's hurt is way far from Chelsea right now. Bobby, I'll come to you in a bit, please. We should make him, again, as a make way to get Onana. Bastoni also, I forgot. Latoro, it's easy, but let's see what the club wants to do. And big up to you, my bro, Kismasan. Kismasan Trauma. I'm not sure if I'm able to pronounce your first name correctly. That Lukaku transfer smells like fraud, because how could a player switch up on us 4 months into a 100 million transfer? They planned that and set us back 2 years, in my opinion. It's good. They lost. Here's the thing: I knew Pep. I knew Man City was going to overcome them. Eugene, your nickname for me is Super Trooper. I like Eugene too much. He's a good friend. Colwill, it's a familiar situation as Lukaku. He's set his heart already at Brighton a lot. Yeah, it's easy to come to that conclusion, but disclaimer, I've also come to that conclusion. Now, if you ask me, I'd say it doesn't look like he wants to come back for reasons I've mentioned before, but we don't really know, if we're being honest. But let's see, not selling, let's see what the club does. It's a two-way thing. Lukaku doesn't want to come back, and Chelsea fans don't want him to come back. It's like a toxic, calling together. We shouldn't be together. He doesn't want to come back. We don't want him. Yeah, he should just move on. And he doesn't fit the manager's preferred approach. I think I can say that now with Pochettino. Hello, my family. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you. God bless us all. You too. Where's Saudi when you need them? You think they don't know something good? Big up, coach. Late to the party, but at least you're here. Lateness is greatness. So welcome to you, brother. I appreciate you finding time to join. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 63 likes. We're shooting for 300 likes. We should be at 150 right now. Let's make it happen. If Romelu Lukaku wants to give it another shot at Chelsea, I welcome it. That is just you. We should blame him for the Champions League final. I'm not blaming him, but you know what happens after a breakup? That's when each party starts finding the bad side of the other party. Yeah, that's when you know after all you're not even beautiful. It's not like you're tall. There are better options for you out there. So that's natural, and I'm not shocked to have seen such comments from Chelsea fans. But yeah, he was awful. Coming to you, Bobby, your thoughts. We're talking about the elephant in the room, and you've always wanted us to talk about this. It's not a simple situation to deal with. I think we may end up decide to terminate this contract, which I think he's pushing for that. He doesn't want to be the guy to say, I want out, because he's going to have to pay us. So he's playing it smart. But you go ahead, Bobby. What do you make of this Lukaku situation?
Yeah, I mean, to me, especially after watching him yesterday, my final conclusion is that Romelu Lukaku is a bad player. He's a bad player, and we do need to get rid of him. This is another of Marina Granovskaya's disaster class, and it sticks on the club. He's in the strong position at the moment because he has time on his contract,
Mhm.
and absolutely ridiculous wages. Well, unless somebody is going to value him, which I very much doubt, it's going to be an expensive disconnect. But disconnect we have to
Whew.
do because he's no use.
An expensive divorce.
Yeah, but
Whew.
that we have to do because he's no use to the team at all.
Wow. And here's where it gets dangerous. It gets even worse, Bobby. Is the fact that he's at this age where he's not playing football because he loves to play football. It's just because he's just playing it. Again, he's close to retirement. You could argue that he's such a player. You can argue he's close to retirement. It's worse because he doesn't care. He's on a very high wage. Whatever happens, he's still going to be earning money. If we decide to move him on, we have to terminate his contract, pay him a huge sum. So it's a huge problem that it's not easy to solve. Many factors surrounding Lukaku's situation makes it doesn't look good for us.
Unless, as is rumored, which I doubt very much, the Saudis have some interest. They may be able to part with some money for him. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anybody else paying money. And to be honest, I don't see him going there. I don't think Lukaku's a Muslim. He doesn't have that Islamic dedication or sense of being in the holy ground that will
Probably,
drive
his
players
behavior
like.
will be his lifestyle will be an issue.
Well, I don't think he lives a particularly exorbitant lifestyle, but it's just not his belief system. Whereas people like Ziyech, Kante, and so on, that is their belief system. And that's why they are there. Someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, it's not his belief system, but he's being paid enough money to compensate him for living that life. So I don't think he will go there. I don't see the solution other than, as you've said, an expensive divorce. Thank you, Marina, yet again, because this one is really, totally, absolutely, and completely on her plate.
Wow, we're in trouble here. We shouldn't boo Lukaku a first game at the bridge. What are you're hoping he comes back if he stays next season? Because he will still be disrespected. He's still disrespected us while on loan at Inter. We need to break his spirit quickly if he does come back. I don't think the owners will actually risk bringing him back. I have to be honest. Let's see what we have. If you don't want Lukaku, terminate his contract and pay him off. It's simple, but it's not that easy, really. We're forfeiting quite a lot.
Why would anybody want to break his spirit? I mean, that's very strong language. I'm no fan. I never have been.
Mhm.
But, in a way, he's as much of a victim of the circumstances he finds himself as the Chelsea fans and the current Chelsea club and ownership. So it's not about breaking his spirit. If he was good enough to play, he would play. But I think yesterday, at the biggest club stage of all, he showed what he was about. He's clumsy. He's not a good player. He doesn't create or finish. So what is the point for those wages that we are haggling with somebody like Mason Mount, who is so much more valuable in terms of player productivity to the club? So it's a no-goer. It's a dead end. So we need to terminate it now.
All right, keep dropping the likes on the stream. I think terminating his contract will be a good one. And let's see what else we have here. Inter got Onana on a free last year. Did he join them on a free? I didn't know, from Ajax. I would like a Barilla at Chelsea. Barilla, to me, is an excellent player. You can say he didn't have the best of games yesterday, but I like him so much. So to me, there's no point loaning Lukaku. Just terminate his contract. I think I agree. Long term, we'll save money by doing that. Lukaku is a bad player after a miss, which can happen to anyone. Here's the thing: anybody has every right to see it the way they want to see it, and I'm not judging Lukaku based on that miss or the block. Overall, I don't think Lukaku is a bad player. Overall, well, my argument at the time at Chelsea was that he's not the perfect fit for the manager who doesn't play with your stereotypical number 9. I prefer a more complete number 9 than Romelu Lukaku. So I'm going to move on from that. I didn't know Barilla was this aggressive. This guy's. I think he's an excellent player. I've said that. I've always wanted him at Chelsea. We wanted him when Antonio Conte was still our manager. How old was he then? How old is he actually now? How old is it 25, 26? Let me see. Nicolo Barilla. But I want to come back to my bro Tobago to speak on the Lukaku situation. But I'm going to get, please let's keep the topics aligned. Otherwise, I'm going to start skipping whatever you have there because it doesn't help. It can be exhausting to be switching between topics. Please, let's take, once we switch topics, then we can switch right now. We're not in free form right now. Please, it doesn't help. Barilla, 26, and I nearly got it correct. So he was about 20. Was it, how long ago was Antonio Conte still our manager? That was when we wanted him. He was still very young then. I didn't know, but again, he's a fine player too. And let not his aggressive approach to football, confuse you. I think he's an excellent footballer overall, beyond his aggressive approach and all that. Given them Lukaku, Mendy, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Gallagher, and who else they want of Barilla and Onana. Do you see that as a good business? Milan value Chukwuemeka more than Ruben Loftus-Cheek. It would be robbery if we sell them. Can we offer them Lukaku? I don't think we'll be selling Chukwuemeka. I think it's just what they want. The coach Lukaku got his revenge against United last night. I didn't see it that way. Now it makes a bit of sense to me. He may have the but I get it. It's banter anyway, but still, that banter makes perfect sense for me. The vibe, I hope you're doing well. Lukaku, let's see what else we have here. Can someone tell me what Martinez did last night? I think he had an awful outing last night. It wasn't a good game. So hypocrisy doesn't have to come into it. Nobody here says they love Martinez. I've always argued whether he's a fit to a manager, but you cannot say he had a good game last night. He was found wanting. Lukaku still upsets me till this day as if he bought with my father's money. He was bought with your father's money because that's a lot of money. I agree with you. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. Let's see. I'm gonna come to you. What do you make of the Lukaku situation? He's a dinosaur in the room, mammoth in the room, elephant in the room, whatever you want to call it. Given his situation with the Chelsea fans. But the fact is, even if the club wants to bring him back, I wouldn't advise that. I don't think it's a Pochettino type of striker, but you never say never. After all, I'd never have argued that Erling Haaland one day that Erling Haaland is what's his name is a Pep Guardiola's type of striker. But you go ahead, your thoughts on the Lukaku situation.
Coach, I already said my say about Romelu Lukaku situation. It's not simple as people think, but hopefully from what is being reported and the meeting between Inter and Chelsea, we can see the situation be clarified. And then if this drags long, as you said, we need just to terminate this contract. Just forget about Lukaku's deal. It's not worth it. But again, I remember something. But now, man, it's just anyway. I'm just dreaming. I remember Antonio Conte he told Thomas Tuchel how to use Lukaku, and then Lukaku can thrive because Inter Milan under Conte was doing extremely well. But again, his weight man, it won't help him under Pochettino. I'm sorry, it won't work. Hopefully,
If you
we
want
just
to know what Pochettino, I think go ahead. Let me let you drop.
yes. In terms of his weight, his attitude, and everything, I don't think it'll work under Pochettino. But again, this is life. You'll never know. Never say never in life because anything can change any moment. Unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. I think anything can change at the moment. Here's the thing. Lukaku isn't a bad player. He's a good player, but I prefer certain type of strikers over Lukaku. That's how I like to put it. And Lukaku under, you could say under a manager such as Mourinho would have been a fine. Would have been, you could say, Lukaku, would have been, you could say, we would have seen a better Lukaku. But on the Thomas Tuchel, I knew we had a serious problem then, because Thomas Tuchel never plays with a stereotypical number 9. From Mainz to Borussia Dortmund to PSG and all of that. Even when he had Mauro Icardi and Edson Cavani, I think he had them both at one point. Didn't use them that much. So I knew that was going to be a problem. And adapting to what Conte wants us to do to get the best out of Lukaku would have been everything, would have led to us doing nearly everything that would be against how Thomas Tuchel likes to approach the game. And I didn't see that happen. And that was why you heard him saying he's not into building his team around a single individual. And I'm more for that, really. But that's, by the way, we signed Lukaku for a reason, not because the manager wanted him. We know the story, and I'm not going to go into that. Man City is officially bigger than Chelsea. Can you elaborate? I want to hear your reason behind that. To me, I'd just say we're still bigger. We have 2 Champions League, and they have 1. We have Club World Cup. They don't have any. We have Europa. UEFA Super Cup, they don't have any. So they still have 2 things to do to get to that level, in my opinion. Big up to you too, Keshan, the New York guy. Always nice to see you. Let me see what else we have here. At this point, wouldn't mind swapping Lukaku for Calvert-Lewin. Here's the thing. Let's be honest. We cannot get any money from Lukaku. How about a straight swap with Onana? That will never happen. I think the only option may well be to just terminate his contract. And like Chelsea all the way already said in the chat, I think it was Chelsea all the way that said that the fans don't want him. Lukaku doesn't want to come back, and I'm adding to that. The manager is not known to play with this type of striker, so it will be a bad mix. Let's not do something. The manager will end up saying, "Well, I didn't want him, and you're forcing on me." But the Chile is better on the ball than Lukaku. Let's see. Can you? Tell me Pochettino's type of striker. You go ahead and do the research yourself. At Southampton, I think at Southampton, what he had then was Sadio Mane. At you can say at Tottenham, he had Harry Kane, and Harry Kane is not your stereotypical striker, no matter how you see it. At least he's a complete player. He can drop deep, participate in the play, create chances for his you could say attacking a teammate, if that makes sense. Lukaku isn't that guy, even though I think he's a good player, but I don't think he doesn't do much in terms of dropping the participate in the play and creating chances. There are all the deficiencies. Look, they all have, for instance, but I don't want to get into that argument with you because I know how that's going to go. In terms of Kane, he has some deficiencies, and I'm well acquainted with Kane's deficiencies, but that's not what we're here to talk about. If that makes sense, I've taken my time to think about it. I haven't seen Pochettino play with your stereotypical number 9s, which is that sort of non-traditional number 9 that just waits in the box, waits for the ball to come in for them to finish. And now you can say Lukaku is just that guy. He hardly does well in terms of dropping deep and participating in the play. That's my opinion. And Inter Milan is a break FC. I think they did their best. Had they been clinical yesterday, it would have been a different outcome. But I haven't looked at the statistics, taking my time to look at the stats. Treble hype coming from, here's the thing, it doesn't change anything. Even if we haven't had a treble before, we're still bigger. We have 2 Champions League, they have 1. Lukaku termination will never happen. Look at it this way. He doesn't want to be here. So he will always go out on loan at a fee until contract expires, or termination means termination in the sense maybe that's not the correct term. If we decide to let him go without if we don't have any buying clubs, then which means we have to pay him his remaining salary. I'm not sure the structure of his contract. We have to pay him something in bulk. But I get it. He's not going to be in a hurry to leave. It's not like he's 2021 and still enjoying football for the sake of it and we want to go somewhere and all of that. I think at this stage, it's all about the money, even before he joined us. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. 71 likes, 29 more to get it to 100. Let's make it happen, good people. If Lukaku was at Chelsea, last season, the relegation battle would have been put on him. Yep, you know that quite well. If we find ourselves in that situation, the hate on a single it's not on a single individual. I know you're the player's lawyer. Every player that everybody talks about, you have to defend him. But I like that. Other players do the same thing, and it's excuses upon. But I get it. You're the player's lawyer now. That's the name I'm going to be calling you from now on. The vote, coach. This was the XG last night. Man City 0.95. Inter 2.07. Go ahead, Tobeho. You wanted to speak.
Yeah, tell him I might be the only Lukaku player. Tell him how much I love Lukaku, but again, I'm up to defend Chelsea Football Club because we can't tolerate players doing bad things. And then for the sake of I love individual player, I'm gonna protect him over the club. It's not that won't happen. I still have Lukaku's t-shirt. I'm still wearing it, but again, I love Chelsea Football Club, and then what he did at Chelsea is not acceptable. Especially after he made another interview of an apology, but I think it was just a PR. At the end of the season, he was pushing for move to Inter Milan. So I'm not up to defend those kind of players. I'm sorry. We just need to accept this situation. Just let it go. Don't come back to Chelsea. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. Let's move on. This is life.
And something I have to say quickly. Tobeho loved Lukaku so much that the first time he subscribed to Chelsea Perspective, he heard my argument about Lukaku. He got mad at me. I think he actually unsubscribed in the back later to subscribe. So this is not about discriminating. I think he made it worse. He was actually our top scorer the year we had that issue with him. The interview didn't help, and Chelsea fans were actually willing to support him to help him get back. Like we said, I think Inter, had they been clinical, we would have seen a different outcome yesterday, being honest. And I haven't actually looked at the stats. So, but Pep, you can say he was a bit more pragmatic than usual yesterday, and he worked for him. You can say that was the reason why they won it. I'm not a fan of Lukaku, but the disdain for him is exaggerated. In my case, it's not disdain. I'm just going to try to be as objective as possible. I'm not sure if we all see things from different lenses. There are some people actually that think we should actually bring Lukaku back to Chelsea. Oh my God, what is wrong with Chelsea that makes not see things and learn from all the teams' progress? Our decisions are shambolic and should look at Man City's progress in short and period. Big up to you, Glenn Tain. Always nice to see you. Panel and chat, he says. Lautaro Martinez usually underperforms in big games too, so maybe that shows us something, but you can't judge him by just one game. After last night, Lukaku, not Chelsea level. I was hoping he would perform when he came on. That header he missed had it been Havertz from that range, for me, he scores. I've seen Havertz miss the same thing this current season, DJ. So I'm not, but I get where you're coming from. But that was nice to see you. Yet fans want him gone. Here's the thing. I think Havertz have missed some at close range, but I get where you're coming from. It's up to the club to decide what they do with Havertz. If Chelsea kept Werner and Lukaku, there wouldn't have been a relegation battle. They all have their issues. So Broya can be lethal on the pitch. The main worry is how bad that injury affected his mentality, because usually when players are out for a while like this, they don't come back the same. I hope that's not the case. Panda, there's still hope for Lukaku. Okay, keep praying for him. Maybe that works. As much as I don't want Lukaku to stay at Chelsea because of the interview, I'm not going to take any slander on him from people who back him. Okay, I'm not here to read the back and forth with regards to slander and who. We are not in a situation for throwing money on average strikers. We should go for what fits into what the manager wants. Glentain. Panda, yes, it is so forth, but not at Chelsea, somewhere else. We cannot sell Lukaku. We can sell Havertz. We need to make money. again, we're in a very difficult situation. If you really paying attention to what's going on at the club, I don't think we can afford to assign all the players we want. If we're able to do that, if eventually it turns out we're actually capable of doing that, I'd be surprised. So here's the tweet. We're gonna move on from this topic. Yeah, I like this tweet. Romelu Lukaku needs to return to Inter Milan. He'd like that. That is if Inter really wants to keep him. The question is, I don't like a situation where we keep paying a large percentage of his salary and he still remains at Inter Milan. It just doesn't make sense. I'd pay him off, go somewhere else. Even if the Saudis come, go make the money there, and we'll move on from each other. It's a toxic relationship already. I don't want to be part of that. The only DM I want at Chelsea is Sofiane Amrabat from that's a Moroccan international from Fiorentina. I would sign him over Lavia. Enzo need a DM next to him. I think that's a solid argument. Enzo needs a sort of player that plays alongside him that will be more defensively minded, where he'd have the independence to be more adventurous on the pitch. I don't want any player from Inter, to be honest. None of them impressed you. We need upgrades. I think we can do better than some of the players we looked at yesterday. Maybe Andre Onana. Lukaku now has unfinished. Go ahead if you want to speak, because I'm getting a feedback from your end.
Oh, sorry. He said Inter Milan players, some of them didn't impress him. Marcelo Ibrahimovic. What a player, experienced player. You can see how he plays at 6, makes everything simple. Marcelo Brozovic. I think Inter Milan's defense was solid, and even Onana was doing extremely well. But again, you can't blame him in terms of that goal. And by the attack, I think they called Lukaku Martinez didn't help the team enough. Yes. So I think Zeko Martinez and Lukaku didn't have the team very well in terms of making Inter Milan chances of winning that game. Even Barella didn't have a good game yesterday. So, but again, Marcelo Brozovic, I will take him to Chelsea. What experience, defensive midfielder. But again, he won't come cheap. That's another thing. But if you talk about experienced players, what a player, Marcelo Brozovic.
I think Brozovic will end up at Barcelona.
They want Amrabat too, and then Amrabat is a cheaper option. So let's see.
Okay, let's see what happens. Yeah. There you go. Lukaku now has unfinished business everywhere he's been. Yeah, but I want to move on from that. Let me see what we have here. Let's move on from the Lukaku conversation and talk about something else. Only Barilla and Bastoni, maybe. I have always loved Barilla. An excellent player. I'm not Lukaku's lawyer when I cannot stand his. Here's the thing: you're in this community. You're hereby from now on known as the players' lawyers, and you make solid arguments, and I like that. So Chelsea will need to spend a fee of around 18 million to convince Inter Milan to sell striker Lautaro Martinez. I think we can do better than Lautaro Martinez. It probably looks like he's going to struggle in the Premier League. Unfinished business describes his goal scoring in big games. So Thomas Bays, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. To be honest, Nkunku can do the striker role, but we keep overlooking that. Here's the thing: we want to mix it up. We want to you can say a hybrid. You can say I wouldn't use the term hybrid. A number 9 that's capable of dropping, did not, fulfilling the number 9 role effectively. Unsettling defense, because have that trait of a traditional number 9 and also be able to participate, by dropping deep and participating in the play. I think that's what we're looking for. Nkunku isn't that guy. I think it would be more effective for us as a creator rather than station him there up top. I think we'll be losing all the aspects of his game that will help us do better. I like Bastoni. He was my choice. I think last season, actually, last two transfer windows, we were linked with a move with him, but Inter didn't want to sell him. At one point, rumors were that he was going to end up at Tottenham, but that didn't happen. We've watched a sloppy Havertz for the entire season, and fans want to complain about Lukaku makes no sense. There's a monster in Lukaku. He just needs a partner in crime and in Nkunku. And do you want him? Do you want to rekindle that toxic relationship in him? What has happened between, if he comes back, if you risk bringing him back and it doesn't, walk again, I don't think he helps matters at all. He's openly, publicly not helped us in any way. If anything, he's made it look like we've wasted 100 million. So here's the thing: it's not up to me to decide what we do with Lukaku. It's the club's decision, the board's decision. Brozovic is a one player I like him so much. Inter Milan, I think they did well. Yes, Brozovic as well. But are we looking at him? No, I don't think. I don't want players like Brozovic. I like him, but I don't want that type of player. Wow. You've just eaten your cake and you're keeping it at the same time. Progress isn't all about spending cash. Anyhow, it's by implementing your plan and structure and hire the right person to do the right work. I think we have the right person now. Let's just be strategic in the market. Brozovic is class. I told you. I know that myself. I think he's a player I follow for a while. Onana or Mike Maignan will be a great addition in our goal. In our goal, midfield is still a priority number one. But if we are able to solidify the spine of this team, we can move up table next season. I believe so too. Let get Brozovic and Nkunku. Lukaku would be a good duo. If again, it's not up to me to decide whether we see that combination or not. Inter's first half showed a football where the outcome is more than the sum of individual players, but individual players can spoil the rhythm. Yeah, they can. I've seen with the introduction of Lukaku, Havertz has 7 goals this season. Lukaku, who's been on a horrendous form, has 10 goals. Nobody's comparing the two players. Those are two different profile of players, no matter how you see it. And if you're arguing, just to show you how bad our team is, that's to show you this is not the sort of season where you isolate any individual player's performance. Is that, Kai Havertz is our top scorer, if that makes sense to you. Lukaku and Monster, you can feed them after 12 o'clock and he can, okay, you just go away. Coach, I just received an application from Nkunku requesting that his name not be mentioned together with whatever in the room. I want to move on from that. Lukaku played, say, 25 minutes, one chance. Yes, I'm not here to go with for the back and forth. Slug it with anybody that's saying that in the chat, please. Yes, and if you're responding to somebody's comment, proceed your comment with the person's handle. That makes it easy so I can just skip it. Yes, we can do better than Martinez. I don't doubt that, but he seems to be purchase number one. I think you could argue, I get your argument, bro. It could be rumors at this point. Some others are saying that Pochettino prefers Dusan Vlahovic. Some are saying that Chelsea are bent on getting Victor Osimhen. So let's see what happens there. But I get your argument. Purchase number one target for a striker. Vlahovic is
Can you hear me?
Yeah, if I stop, it's because I'm getting feedback. I want you to continue talking.
Oh, sorry about that. I think we should get Victor Osimhen if it's possible, because today I was just checking on the striker list that we want. For example, Martinez and Dusan Vlahovic, they are on huge wages already. Dusan Vlahovic is earning 250 per week. Martinez 200k per week, and then Victor Osimhen is earning 100k per week or less than that. It depends on the bonuses. So, if, for example, we strike a deal with Napoli, we can offer him 200k. That's a good business for us. But in terms of Vlahovic or Martinez, how are we gonna afford? How are we gonna offer him those players' salaries while we are busy solving our salary cap issues? So I think in terms of getting those three, I made it in mind that if we get Victor Osimhen will be a good deal for us in terms of salary. But the fear of getting him, I know it won't be cheap. But my issue, as I said, Lukaku is earning a lot of money at the moment, and then it's so difficult now to get rid of him in terms of him was earning 325k at Chelsea. Which team gonna get him while he's getting those wages?
Yeah, the wage thing is not again is a problem. One of the reasons why we're probably not going to be able to get some of the players we want. We'll get to that in a bit because other clubs, if there are other clubs that pay more, like United right now, they pay more than us, or maybe they have a different wage structure. For me, for the fact that I'm not too sure of the new construct of the Chelsea contract, you can say structure. I think we're going to find it difficult to get some of the players we want because those clubs will be probably most likely able to offer, that's my opinion, something better than we are able to offer. Chelsea need a proper structure if we want to be a big club and get back to the glory days. And I'm going to try to do this to make it easier on me and the panelists also. Please stick to the topic. It doesn't help. It can be exhausting switching from one topic to the other. It doesn't help. If it's aligned with the current topic, we're talking about Lukaku right now. I appreciate that. But Mabas, nice to see you. Lucas Lewis, Lukaku and Chelsea is like a bad marriage. I think we need it divorce. We don't need to bring that together. If the club thinks they can make it work, we can stop that. Havertz had started. I'm not into please this again. We're talking about Lukaku here. The things to see him would be just Lukaku, maybe a little better in my opinion. I think he has his equipped to do better than Lukaku. And I think his situation, if we end up getting him, but I don't think we'll be able to get him either. That's my opinion. I think it'd be a signing up because he's still younger. We can get him to adapt to how the manager wants to play. My Labrador, a dog breed would have been able to score that yesterday. Okay, I'm going to move on to that. We don't need Martinez with Nkunku coming. We need a more proper number 9s. Yeah, that's what I'm arguing. I think Poch. Again, how do we know Poch wants Martinez? That's not. We don't know whatever he wants. That's just the truth. So I like that argument from you. It's just people think, you can say, making it more appealing to Chelsea fans. Personally, Kolo Muani, for me, rumors are that we want him, that he wants to hear from the new Chelsea manager before deciding. This is repeated more often than noticed. A big up to you two, Ryan Winters. Always watch and love your stream. Watching from Australia, I have a lot of Australian people here. But big up to you, more importantly, nice to see you, Ryan Winters. I hope you're doing well. Christian Davey, we haven't seen you for nearly a week or so. I hope everything is okay with you. But more importantly, big up and thank you for finding the time to join us. Vlahovic has been horrendous at Juve. Some want him, Simeon good, but does he suit Pochettino's style of play? I don't know. You can say, I would say no from what I know. So it just doesn't, the argument doesn't make sense. We're not too sure what's going to happen. The image of Lukaku, which has been become almost a constant and merry, is okay. Emojis being interpreted into text. I can read that. Okay. Yeah, I read that one. Lukaku is a poacher. He isn't a target man. Tuchel asks Lukaku to be like Giroud. Lukaku isn't a chance creator. He's a good goal scorer. And in the Premier League, always going to have that opportunity for it to be just you and goalkeeper. In most cases, teams, especially if you're playing for Chelsea, teams will defend so deep. Sometimes you need to beat your man to get a chance to score. I came out from Cameroon, and I don't want Onana to come in anyway. My African bro, always nice to see you. Lukaku wants everything to go through him, and that's not the way to build a modern team because he has a supreme confidence in ability like Messi and Ronaldo. Okay, keep dropping the likes on the stream. Lukaku can score goals if Chelsea gets a good midfielders to feed them. You think that? Okay, keep dropping the likes on the stream. We talk about new players that are needed. The club need to ship players out. That isn't going to be easy on its own. I think that has actually proven to be difficult. We could have sold a few right now had it not been the club. They're being a bit aggressive, and I like that. It's only in the window, so no rush. Let's see how many players were able to sell. You can say Lukaku is a striker. Disagreement on how good of a striker he is will always be a discussion. But compared to Alba and Havertz, how dare you reject anything? His thing, I'm not here to argue that thing. Ryan, yep, your Australian bro saying hello, my bro that I haven't seen for like a billion years. No call, no text messages, but I understand bills don't pay themselves, and you've been busy, like you told me. Always nice to see you. Lukaku is finished on the top level. Does anyone actually believe he will come in back? And he will come back and explode. Well, I don't know. Let's just count our losses and move on. Greetings, Coach Sheila, and the rest of the panel. Greetings to you too, brother. Always nice to see you. Chelsea need to sell so many players before thinking of getting new ones. I think that's the truth. Lukaku had to bulk up in the Premier League due to the physicality and physical nature of the league. But in Serie A, he didn't need to bulk up. Serie A defense is weak, whereas Premier League defense is strong. Wow, some argument right there. The miss by Lukaku is overrated. He deaded it down. I'm not sure. That's new to me. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We need just 40 more likes to get it to 100. We're shooting for 200, 300 likes. Let's make it happen, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. And yeah, Romelu Lukaku will now return to Chelsea. We know that was going to be the case as it stands after completing the season with Inter Milan. Christ knows how this situation will unfold over the summer. It's a tight one. I'm not sure what's going to happen, I have to be honest. But I really want to move on from the Lukaku conversation. If Lukaku comes back, he will be punching holes in CFC pitches. Let's move on from that. Okay, you meant headed. Okay, now I understand. Here's one for me that I think is absolute nonsense. I don't believe this is the truth to any measure. I have to say that it's something I don't believe. It says AC Milan. The good thing is it's being truthful. AC Milan are watching Chelsea. English playmaker Connie Chukwuemeka. The player could move on loan with the right to buy. To the extent of saying with the right to buy, I don't think so. The new owners are very fond of young talent, especially a talented player, a player who's as talented as Connie Chukwuemeka, who's shown the last game he got a chance to start for us. He was excellent throughout the game. He again, this is not me saying that, but actually he's the sort of player that we need when we have Enzo, always providing the passing lane for Enzo on the day. I think he was delicious to watch on the day. So this is coming from an Italian outlet. This is just, you can say, reporting the intent of Inter Milan, not the intent of Chelsea. But as usual, some people will just see it, not analyze it, and take it and run with it. If at most, this is just them, you can say, putting it out there or testing the waters to see whether we want to sell or whether we want to keep the player. I'd say this is absolute nonsense for me. Chelsea needed to upgrade the entire midfield cover and kind of both leave. I think we need more than just a DM this time. I think we need more players. Except if club they're comfortable with, keeping some of the comfortable keeping youngsters such as Connie Chukwuemeka, who he can actually start deep, but I think he's better off an 8. Connie Chukwuemeka, Cesare Casadei, and Andrea Sanchez. That may well be the case. Milan need to understand that there are other Mount players with good potentials, like RSC. I get where you're going with that one. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Young players, I understand. He was delicious, on the day. He was delicious to watch. So let me put it that way. Just pay 85 million for Casadei. Caicedo and bring Kovacic back. CAA Mafia, nice to see you. I think Connie Chukwuemeka must say, if it doesn't, then I'll jump into the wagon of people saying the others don't know what they're doing. I think this is absolute nonsense, in my opinion. Big Rum is dangerous in the box. Unlike, I think you can see he could have maybe done better than some of those people that's played in that particular position. For me, here's the thing: I've looked beyond of his ability as a player. The issue he has at Chelsea is beyond his scoring ability. We know that. After all, the last season he had with us, he was our top scorer, wasn't he? Lukaku is not exactly finished. He can come in and do a job for us, but he will be a rotational coming from the bench or something he wouldn't be happy with. He has that main guy syndrome, like someone I know would describe, but that's simply a reality. I think Portugal will fancy Lukaku due to us having not good out and out number 9, and also I think Portugal will make Lukaku as a main man. If you build team around Lukaku, he will score 20 to 25 goals. Okay, let's see that happen. Can we loan Caicedo instead of giving Brighton a Colwill? What do you think, Coach? Loan Caicedo to Brighton. I think they want. Here's the thing: the only thing I know now is that I think they want Colwill, and if anything, I'm not. There's a chance we want to bring Caicedo back and have him in the first team. Because now we've lost Kovacic, we've lost N'Golo Kante, so we need more players in the midfield area than a lot of people thinks we need. The Maggio is that Italian outlet. They are one of the biggest outlets in Italy. I will not say it's nonsense. I'm saying it's nonsense in the sense this is reporting the intention of AC Milan and saying they're watching English playmaker, Cardiff playmaker. They could move on loan. So that's where my point is coming from. Even though they're big outlets, I'm not saying. I'm just saying this is just reporting the intent. Remember, I started saying they're reporting the intent of AC Milan, not the intent of Chelsea. If Chukwuemeka wants to play more, he should leave Chelsea. I think he's capable of actually starting games for us. He's that good. He's an intelligent player too. Colwill is overrated. Caicedo is more important than Levi Colwill. That's your opinion. You should end that with in your opinion. CLC should look at adopting strategies similar to Italian clubs, loan with an option to buy, and then make sure we do something that we will ensure that the players' evaluation takes a hit, and then we say, okay, we want them. Rather Sanchez than Caicedo, your opinion. Or we're all look at his numbers for the Belgian national team. Okay. Thank you for arguing that. I'm going to come to you, Roger. Let me start with you on this one since you haven't spoken. What do you make of the rumors? I may have to bring you back to the Lukaku topic, but let's switch topics now. Let me get you up to part where we are. Let's start from there. The Chukwuemeka rumor, how do you see this report?
Hola, señor.
Gracias. Please be the one to
Buenas.
Listen, from what I've seen from Carney Chukwuemeka for Aston Villa, and then the last season, what little we saw of him, with the exception of 45 minutes where he looked lost in one half, I think he's an outstanding player. I cannot see him being loaned out. And with the exception of, God forbid, him being injured, I totally concur. I see Carney as a consistent starter for Chelsea, or at the very, very least, he'll be coming off the bench and alternatively starting every other game, so to speak. Does that make sense? And I'm not talking about starting because we're depleted in that position. I'm talking about even with a healthy squad, I see him. Listen, he's got size, physicality, his long stride / gait. He's very technical. He progresses.
I was going to do a tap in on you on that one, but go ahead.
He has all the attributes that are needed to play in this league. He can only get better with experience. And listen, let's consider the fact he's still a fetus. He's going to be so much better as time passes. You know, it would be remiss of us to lend him out. It really would be. It would be a fatal error, I think, because I think he's Chelsea's future from what I can see. You know, there's a few players right now that I think are going to be the core of our future. One is Carney, and I think Madueke is the other, and obviously Enzo. You know, these three players are, I can believe, integral to Chelsea. If Carney is loaned out or is sold, I think I can't see the owners doing this or the executives coming to this decision, because I believe that they have a philosophy and this is what they've told us, and they wish to go forward. They have a short, medium, and long-term plan. I think he fits into all three of those.
But the truth remains, if they foresee a situation where it won't get enough game time that would be good for his development, I think they may well opt to loan him out.
Sure, but
they show hit the starting
right. That's valid, but I don't. Depending on who we acquire, I can't see him not being a starter next season. I just can't. Or playing 30 minutes or so each game at the very least to begin with. I just don't. I think he's that good. I think he.
Yeah, he's a fine player.
Yeah, he is. And if he is loaned out, listen, Poch's MO is to work with young players, and this chap he fits all the criteria that Poch wants, I believe. I'd be so shocked if he's loaned out. I would be flabbergasted.
Let's see what the club does. To me, I'd be okay with it. I think, like you said something that makes sense, perfect sense there. I think he's what happens with Carney at the club in the coming season depends on our acquisitions this summer transfer window. But let's see, Coach, what are the chances that Brighton will resell Colwill for 100 million? This is just me making an exception here. Please, let's keep the topics aligned. Otherwise, I'm going to skip whatever you have there, but I'm going to try to answer this. Here's the thing. There's a pattern I've seen. I know a lot of people are saying Brighton, they are a selling club. But here's the thing. Brighton, I've seen a pattern that shows they're actually always reluctant to sell players. They always want to keep their best players in most cases. But they are confident in their ability to scout and find a good replacement or even an even better replacement. But I think the cases, they find themselves in situations where their best players have always wanted to leave because to join clubs because they want to play for bigger clubs or play in the Champions League and all that. Now they have European football. And if they can make it to top four, they'd have the ability to keep some of their players and probably will be reluctant to sell because it makes business sense. If you can keep those players, maintain top four, you actually make more money. But if you lose some, there are some players that if you lose them, you struggle to make it back into get a European place the following season. So, but the pattern I've seen, they've actually been reluctant to let their players go, not because they want to make more money, but in most cases because they need them. They kept Caicedo because they really needed him to stay. That's one argument I'd make with regards to what I followed the story quite well. If it was all about money, they would have let him go. They just got him to, they even promised him to let him go in the coming season, but at least stay one more season for us since you're bent on leaving. We'll even give you a raise to stay with us. So I get it. It's easy to look back and say they're a selling club, but those players they've sold all wanted to leave, and they didn't leave easily like that. They've again asked them to stay. They've all been reluctant to sell, if that makes sense. I'm going to move on from that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. Chukwuemeka wouldn't start games for Chelsea except the Karibuki Cup games. I am 100% sure about that. If they send him out on loan, as long as he gets game, I'd like that. A tall technical centre back that is good with the ball under pressure is hard to find. Yeah, but you see, that's the sort of thing I'm trying to avoid. I was just in the middle of talking to Mekabuna to talking about a centre back. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We're talking about Carney Chukwuemeka right now, and we're going to switch topics in a bit. The likes do go a long way. Please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Just 5 more likes to get it to 100. Remember, we're shooting for 300. I don't think we'll have too much time now before the show. And I've watched a lot of Brighton. He's a 19-year-old player that's playing on the team in the top 6. Okay. where has a centre back taken? Okay, that's the centre back topic right now. We're talking about Carney Chukwuemeka here. This says Carney needs a loan. He's behind Kasade in development. That is just your opinion. Maybe because Kasade is a loner, maybe you've seen more of Kasade. But let's see. I think you could say that's enough to say whether he's ahead or not. Carney is a good player, but he's not a starter type. He's good when it comes off the bench. I think at his age, he needs more game time. Coming off the bench, I don't think it will be good enough. I think that would be detrimental to his development. He needs to go somewhere where he gets to start. Kasade Santos takes a Carney spot of 23-24 a season. Then sign two midfielders. Then we would have potentially Enzo, Gallagher, Kasade, Santos, new additions. Let's see what the club does. 45 minutes, great 45. Poor Chuka, we don't know anything. He should go alone if he doesn't get minutes with us. I think that's the argument I'd make too. If it's not guaranteed to start enough game time to aid his development as a young player, he should be let go on loan to a place where he can be guaranteed enough game time to aid his development. Carney is apparently in the transfer list. I think it's absolute. To me, it doesn't make sense. I think some people are reading too much into it. I think it's factual. It just stating Inter Milan's intent. This is not Chelsea's intent, if that makes sense. Let's see, what else do we have here? Standards. We should raise it if we want. Here's the thing, everything we discuss here doesn't in any way influence the club's decision. So you take that argument to the club. People are just here expressing their opinions, if that makes sense. I'm going to get to the very bottom, and then we can switch topics now. And if there's anybody I haven't said hello to, so glad to see Lukaku Lucy. I'm not reading that. Same reason the spot he often played people out of position. This is something we've been complaining since the time of since the days of Thomas Tuchel. I think that's the least of our problem. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I'm afraid we are turning Levi Colwill into Mason Mount 2.0. Hasn't even played, but seems to be irreplaceable. Here's the thing. If he leaves, I'm not going to cry. If he stays, and I take that too. And I'm seeing the possibility of him actually leaving. That is, if we truly do want to sign Moisés Caicedo. I think Brighton, I think Levi Colwill is Brighton's ace card, and they're going to use that quite well. If you haven't, people, please go check out Tituk's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. He's looking to get 1,000 subscribers, and he deserves to have much subscribers there. Kone Adama, nice to see you. The midfield needs to feed the ball. I'm done discussing the Lukaku. If it comes back, then we'll take it from there, really, honestly. Big up, guys. Ruben Loftus-Cheek has developed and has more experience than Carney Chukwuemeka, so many needs more exposure on loan. Carney needs more exposure on loan. Colwill for captain straight away. I'm not into that conversation right now. Big up Chelsea fans. On social media are the biggest problems and statements from clueless administration. Here's the thing, whatever any fan thinks, that's why I don't hold anything against any fan for expressing their opinion. Whatever you think doesn't in any way influence the club decision on what player to send out on loan, keep. We're just having a conversation here and try, analyzing situations and trying to come to sensible conclusions. In most cases, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. One more like to get it to 100. You people are absolute legends. And if you're in the chat, if you haven't, if you want to, if you can afford it, it's $2.99. If you want to become a member, you go ahead and do that. We sincerely do appreciate that. Let's move on to the next topic. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Just 1 second. Ty, if you have anything else to say with the Carney Chukwuemeka, we don't have too much time now, just about 20 more minutes to round up. But if you have anything to say, Ty, you go ahead, shoot for race. You have the floor now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm happy you changed what you said. So if you have anything to say, because you said if I have anything more to say.
Because we've already said everything.
No, because I didn't see anything before that. You said if I had anything else to say.
Hola, Ty.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
No more
Bueno.
Spanish on here.
Lo siento, lo siento. Um, well, this is Corne is a player that I don't want us to sell, but like you said, this is more of the perspective of what if AC Milan do get him, and if that is to be believed, they would want an option. That's what you see happen in the Italian league. They
Mhm,
loan a player and then you have the option to buy. It doesn't mean that they're going to sign, but they always do add that option just in case the player does come in and ends up performing good for them. Um, for me though, I'd rather us to, I don't know. To loan him out, I'm not really sure about that, but at the same time, he needs to get more game time. There's a lot of games where he could have played in the
mhm,
season or have gotten minutes, and he never did. He was just on the bench, and that was it. And then most of those times, the players that came on in the midfield, they didn't really add much to the game. Like the coach, whichever coach that was, wanted them to do. So in a sense, I see people saying that certain players are ahead of him in terms of development, and that's
mhm,
going to obviously be the case because it's going to look like that because different players from different backgrounds, different countries have different methods of developing players. And Casile, for example, yeah, he's a player that looks like he is supposedly um, further in development than Corey Chukwuemeka, and I can understand why people would say that based on what he's been doing in the under 20 or what he did in the under 20 World Cup
mhm.
for Italy. You can see he was scoring goals, he was getting assists, and he was creating. And people will look at the statistic first to say that he's a player that gives output in contrast to Chukwuemeka, who really hasn't done that, but he has created challenges as well. For me, I don't really know about loaning him out. I think we need to keep some of these young players um for rotation as well.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, keep some of them for rotation. You know, you need some young players as well. You need players that have that desire because you never know. And we've seen that in the past, and we've developed this mentality of having young players because they can have that drive and hunger, and if you give them an opportunity, they can reward that confidence in them, and
Plus,
they can
plus injuries.
yeah, exactly. And that's the thing because people say that don't keep this player because he's not going to get game time. But we've seen that injuries can give these players opportunities. Look at Loftus-Cheek. He's not as young, obviously, but some people would probably have thought that he's just going to be a player that just comes off the bench, and he's got a lot of games because injuries that he cannot foresee has happened. So you're going to have to think about that as well. Injuries can happen. He can get that game time. So I'm not one for saying that don't keep this player because he's not going to get the game time. But you never know what may happen. And injuries are unpredictable. They do have, you know, that they can happen, but you don't know when they can. So at the same time, I think we should keep him. And if we do loan him out, obviously it shouldn't be with an option to buy because he's a player that has potential, and I think he suits the build and the structure and the foundation of what Chelsea are trying to be about. And Pochettino is a player that I'm pretty sure could get the best out of him, and you can help him in his development as well.
This is what provides us with one more topic to talk about. Other than that, I would have just looked at it, and because if you look at it, anybody that has a, I don't want to say this, I think it will sound insulting to some people. This is just reporting Inter Milan's AC Milan's intent, not Chelsea's intent. Chelsea haven't said they want to sell him or loan him out. I think it reports Inter's intent, and then adds something just to spice it up a bit, maybe to get more Chelsea fans to just to talk about it. And I'm moving from that. Chukwuemeka needs experience to go out alone in Syria. Or would suit Chukwuemeka? I don't trust in Syria our teams anymore. He will have most of the time on the ball, or maybe a Bundesliga would also suit him. For instance, if he goes to AC Milan, I don't think he's coming back because they were one of those clubs that were looking at him before we signed him. Glenn Taylor says, "Don't worry, guys. If we see Levi Colwill still have a Baba Rahman, Chelsea is crazy, really. We still have Baba Rahman on our books. We have also, what's his name? The French, should I call him French international? Has he even played for the senior team? Bakayoko. Chelsea can turn some defense into midfielders. Colwill is not a defender. Who you're talking about? Liver Colwill. Oh, Colwill is a defender. I thought you were talking about Hall. And James, just like Man City turned James into John Stones into a midfielder. Here's the thing: that takes a while. It's and we don't have the luxury to take some time to convert midfielders, convert defenders into midfielders. It's a risk. I don't think it's worth taking at this point. Funny tweet from Talksport. Zinchenko leaves us and Arsenal fans are raging after congratulating Man City on the treble win. Imagine CFC fans are tweeting on Lukaku. Or you can say, imagine a Chelsea player congratulating our rival club. You know what will happen. Loan these players to bottom half of Premier League teams where they come back. When they come back from Italy, it costs them to adapt. Okay, let's see. Big up to you too, Martin. Oh, always nice to see you. Thank you, people, for 102 likes. You people are absolute legends. Let's keep dropping the likes and get the likes up. We can do that, people. Nice to see you, Martin. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. We don't have any European assignment this coming this year. Yep, we cannot keep all these players and bury them on the bench. It won't help. Like I said, keeping Connie Mill will end up being detrimental to his development. He's just too young. I think we have other players on loan that we can keep to make up numbers if that's the case. I get it, Ty's argument, and it makes sense, but also it's a risk. You're not too sure anybody's going to get injured or be rested to an extent where he gets to play enough game time that will aid his development. I think it's a risk not worth taking. Marlon Sarr is also coming back. Yeah, we're in trouble. What are these links to Kolo Muani? One objective game. I'm not too sure what to make of it. I haven't seen anything new. If you saw anything new today, please elaborate. So educate us on what you've read. To me, the last thing I saw was that we're interested and that he's waiting for the new manager to take over, so he speaks with him and all that. So I didn't really believe that because I'm not into soaking up everything I see. I like to analyze, put two and two together, and come to a sensible conclusion. In that case, I'm not too sure what to make of it. CFC needs us to start constructing a second floor on the changing room to accommodate them all. Lukaku, Rahman, and Bakayoko in the same changing room. Poch will be sacked October. The blue tip again. Big up to you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We missed a few days due to some situations, but we're still looking like we're going to get to 12,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And I'm going to try to bring back the Twitter feed. Something changed, so I have to recode it before I start using it again. Where the automated live stream, where you see updates on the screen. Levi Colwill and Wesley Fofana should be our starters next season. Okay, let's see what the club wants to do. I'm going to say this quickly. Really, Eugene does look like a movie character. I'm not sure which one of them the avatar is using. Let's move on to the next topic. Anybody there? I don't know. Yeah, the coolest shells. Tabejo, you haven't spoken about the Cardi Chukwuemeka news. I wouldn't call it a situation. A report from an Italian outlet. As much as DJ argued that they're a big outlet, but that's the truth. But that's them reporting Inter's intent. This is not Chelsea's intent by any stretch of imagination. Maybe spiced up a bit for it to seem as if Chelsea may well be willing to loan him out and sell him. I don't think so. But your thoughts? Tabejo, you there? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. My thoughts, Kanisha should never leave Chelsea because this kid is the next upcoming talent. And then I don't want these other Italian teams to rob us again. I, man, I let me say this. Let me be honest. I just hate how Italian teams do their deals with their loan option with option to buy. If they want the player, just pay the money and go away. As
Yeah.
so in terms of Kani, no, it's not for sale. It's not for loan. Keep him at Chelsea, learn and that Pochettino. Hopefully, he can impress and then be one of our starters. We'll never know. This is football.
It is football. Like I said, it's simple. This is there isn't anything difficult to uh, analyze here, or it's easy to analyze and come to a sensible conclusion. It's just you wouldn't. It's just look at it and you know they're just reporting Inter Milan's intent and not just its intent. Chelsea are linked with Castillo Lubeka for 37 million pounds euros from Lyon, according to transfer insider Colwill. Might be solid if he doesn't want to return. And Chelsea all the way. I think some news you've always reported here. Usually other resources are sources they usually report it late. So please get with me on Twitter. I can be producing quite a lot of YouTube shorts with all these reports on time. Please, if you're on Twitter, please follow me on Twitter. Let me know it's you. These updates you bring us will go a long way for me. I appreciate that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. With 105 likes, you people are absolute legends, and I appreciate you all. Thank you for all your support for the community. Let's see how far we can go. But please, and also if you're here, if you haven't followed us on Twitter, please do that. We're also on TikTok. We have 6,000 plus followers on TikTok, getting to 7,000 subscribers. On Instagram, we have 1,000 plus. We keep growing there, but please follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Twitter. And please do let me know when you do that. I really appreciate that. Much love to you. One Objective Gaming, nice to see you. A possible changing room architecture could be having two floors with a common lobby, like a church, a library, or you can say a dome or something like that of a porch. If all these places stay, go get Caicedo and Rice. Chelsea act like a big club. Crush Arsenal window. I'm not just gonna say go get a Rice because I want to crush Arsenal's window. It would just mean, the usual thing, us spending money for the sake of it. Have you spoken on Lukaku? We've spoken on Lukaku coming back. We get to Mike Maignan or Onana. We'll talk about that. Why aren't we looking at Manu Kone? I always, honestly, don't know. I'm not too sure. Am I mixing names up here? I'm not sure. Newcastle and United just jumped on the Caicedo race. This won't be easy. If the player wants to come to us, you can say we have an edge. We have Levi Colwill, they want Levi Colwill. And we have the Brighton connection, which can help us convince him to come to us. But let's see what happens. Colwill needs to relax. He's just a part of a hostage exchange. These Cobham graduates need to know that they are a currency. Some of them are. In some cases, that would be used in that regard. But that's, by the way, don't get me started on Gallagher, Reese, James' successors done this. You could argue that Inter owner Zangwan to broker a deal with Chelsea as soon as possible. He described Lukaku as amazing, but I don't think Lukaku will be as amazing. Amazing to an extent where they decide to forfeit how much we owe them and buy him. They still come for a loan. That's what I'm going to say with that. About our striking the situation, why don't we check out on that Al Nassr striker? Who? Okay. Amrabat, that's all I'm saying. I think he's a good player. I hope we get him. The Moroccan international. Correct me if I'm mixing things up. Kuchila, sorry, I'm not on Twitter. Okay, no problem. I'm just asking if you were there, that would have been, but just you can suggest what sources you use. I think that will go a long way too, because you seem to be, in most cases, correct. Keep not all the time. Let me not give you too much credit. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We move on to the next topic. I'm sure everybody on the panel, you've all spoken about the Connie Chukwuemeka report. Okay, this says Mauricio Pochettino was always involved in conversation with the Chelsea board over Manuel Ugarte. When Chelsea told him they were pulling it out, he was like, okay, he's a good player, but we don't have to enter into any crazy proposal with players. Pochettino suggested not doing madness. I like that. I honestly do like that. I don't care what anybody says. We've been known to pay premium, and like I've always argued, that needs to change one way or the other. And I think that's it. Yeah, there are other players. Some of them actually you can argue are better than him. He's not the end of the world. Roger, let me start with you. What do you make of this report? For me, I like it. I like how Poch operates if that's the case. Some managers would have said, get him, I want him. But you go ahead.
So, no, I like the fact that they're discussing things. I think an integral part of Chelsea's success will be actually how Pochettino interfaces with the executives. I think that's really important. More importantly, Vivel, the technical director, and him have to be on the same page with philosophy. And then with regards to players, it's going to be Stewart and Winstanley. So they need to have shall we say, a smooth working relationship. They really do have to be on the same page. All parties have to put their egos aside. You don't have a successful team without a successful back office or front office, however you want to term it. Everyone has to be on the same page. They really do. And you'll notice that in virtually every kind of sport, that it's from top to bottom, that there has to be a form of cohesiveness, and I think that's critical. Obviously, it matters on the field, but when your entire team, when I say team, I'm talking about people that don't play, that are wearing suits or they're part of the medical staff, whatever you want to term it. It's important that they all work as a well-oiled machine and communicate effectively. So I think Poch's relationship with the hierarchy is of vital importance. I'm not sure how he operates. He seems to be a highly intense and a micromanager, which is a good thing in some regards. Let's see. Ugarte, I don't know. I'm not sure about him. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I like what they did. Pull out. Don't do a madness there.
And that needs to stop. You're right. No more Cucurella type of nonsense. We
don't have to overpay.
No, we shouldn't. That needs to stop now. Not that we should be doing it. I don't think we have a choice, financially speaking. So, maybe a little bit too late. Just wanting us to do it, but at least we've started to do it, and I welcome that. Regardless, even if we lose players that we want, let's say we all agree we want player A, but they're asking for a Chelsea premium, then I say no, regardless if it hurts us short term on the field. You know what? I believe that over time that the team that we're putting together and can develop together and be successful because they're very young and talented players with a good blend of veterans there. So I don't see the need for us to overspend anymore. I really don't.
Yeah, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate all your support. And I doubt they know him. We don't. I don't. At least me, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for others, and I don't know him. I believe that report was a smokescreen because they got scared about what they may try to do. I think I agree with you. I don't think that's true. I think Chelsea pulled out because PSG was ready to complain to UEFA because of the structure of the deal with trying to buy Sporting. I don't. We don't. Here's the thing. Let me tell you this. If we really try to buy a stake in Sporting, and you think it was just going to go like this, that would have compounded the negotiation process. If that makes sense, that's what. The moment I saw that report, the first thing that came to mind, it would have compounded the whole thing, and it would not have been easy to get it completed on time. So I don't believe that. I think it's all nonsense. That's my opinion, and you have every right to believe that if that's what you want to believe. Keep dropping the likes. He's the type of player, Barca, Real, a snap up early. I'll look at him. Yeah, I like it that you guys suggest players. Hopefully, I still remember that name. Desire who? I'll try to check him out. Italian journalist Rudy Galati of Give Me Sports has stated that Pochettino has urged Chelsea to sign Caicedo for him. That's all. That's a report in its own. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Chelsea and United pay 100 for players like Anthony and Mudryk, and then expect the teams to give us discounts for world class players. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It has to change one way or the other. Sorry guys, I still have coffee. And here's Ty sharing the link to his channel. It's still there. You still find him. Please go check it out. You will not regret it. Chelsea and United pay 100. I've read that. Did you repeat that, or was that the last thing we have there? Anybody else in the chat want to speak with regards to this particular report? Tabeho, you want to say with regards to that? Oh, Ty. Okay, Ty, you're already speaking. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. And if Pochettino is directly says this, then that is good because it means that even though he wants certain players, he doesn't want the club to be going into some bidding war or anything, or having to offer crazy amounts, and then you have the possibility of the player not working out, and then they're earning a lot of money, and even more than the average player that's at the club. I do find it kind of funny though that Chelsea supposedly wanted both Ugarte and Casado because, in my opinion, they're both similar. So unless it was a case of you get one player and then you have a replacement for them to play as well, so it's not a case where you'd have both of them playing and then they offer two different things. Both of them have the same objective: they win the ball back, they're aggressive, and they also add an input to the attack. So in my opinion, I don't understand how that was going to work because you're going to get one player who does the exact same thing as the next. So they're gonna have to be playing with somebody else, and that just defeats the purpose of us trying to have more midfield options and having players to rotate. I do have to say though that if it's a case where it comes to us missing out on Casado as well, I'm pretty sure it will be better. I think it would be for the best because there's a lot of options that are cheaper. And if I'm led to believe that our scouts are as good as they are, and if we do have these people that are data analysts, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find players that are cheaper than that. This is not to say that Casado is impossible, but in all honesty, the possibility of you getting them gets slimmer. The moment the longer it takes for you, or the moment you take to decide on if you should do certain things. I do think that it's important that we get this midfield situation started. I can't say completed because I don't really think it's possible to get the midfield to where we need it to be. But if you can start the process and everything, I think it'll be a right step. It does remind me of something that I heard last week, not last week, last year from you, coach, and for him as well. This whole thing with the new ownership and expectations, you need time, you need patience because it's not really their trade. It's one way they come in as a business opportunity. So I think we need to understand that. But I'm happy that there's a united front from the pending head coach and also the directors at the club. That's a good step.
Yep, thank you so much, Ty, for that. I don't know. I'm going to go to Tobago in a bit to see whether he had something to add to that. Constantine, that is asking me, how many fingers do I have up, coach? I don't know why you're saying that. It's 5 fingers. Just once somebody sees your palm, it's like you trying to trick me, and I can also see it on the other screen. But that's by the way, Caicedo can play 6 and 8 positions, and also right back. Go get him now. It's not that simple. Even though I know he's a versatile player, I think he'd be a good addition to our squad. But it depends on how desperately we want him. Eugene, not rate Xavi Simons. Let's see. Big up to you too. I can't say your name. I'm not sure. Arsenal appointed by Kai Havertz. We did discuss about that yesterday. I don't think it's anything serious. I think Havertz is the least sort of player I think they want right now. If that makes sense, you cannot start a coach relationship without giving him his first option, which sack him before getting him his type of players. Wow. Some argument Nkunku has started his has stated his focus on the national team. I said something to that effect. Anything that happens after that, he will have time to think about. Doesn't sound like a signed player. Maybe he's playing with you. Do you think that Nkunku is leaving Leipzig, and he's not coming to Chelsea for certain? And you're not hearing fights for his signature. You're not hearing about fight war for his signature. PSV, Barcelona, Manchester United, and other clubs. Do you think Nkunku hasn't put pen to paper for Chelsea, or you're still not hearing those stories? I get it. We have every right to get concerned. That sounds like it. Maybe he's just playing with people like I think that's the case, really. Coach, do you mean to tell me if Fusa, Pulisic, Ziyech, Hudson-Odoi, Kovacic, Lukaku, Sa, Rahman, Bakayoko, Mount, Mendy, and Havertz, we cannot get? Because I think we can. We
But can
can.
you still
And
do
do I
it?
think if we send down many players that the club will only spend the money on one player? I'd say no, but I get your point. I think we can. But I'm just letting people know it's not going to be a straightforward process. We have other priorities. The balance in the books it's a priority too. But there's a chance I could be correct. There's a chance we actually do have the luxury to spend as how much we want in the summer. This summer, but let me see that happen. That's me. The transfer window opens officially in a few days. I think how many days now? 2 days. Correct me if I'm wrong. But let's see. I get your argument. He says by Onana or Maignan, and we'll still be able to buy a lot of them with the money. But let me see what happens. I just don't know. I'm not the club's accountant, but I get your argument there. Okay, good. 5 fingers is it. He's playing with me right now. Stop the PR with Tuarte. Here's the thing. I'm going to move on. We just wanted to talk about that because it's lined up. Something to learn there is that we're not into spending too much. That's how I see it. Nkunku is a Chelsea player. A lot of people, that's why I'm asking people that don't think thinks he's not going to come to us. If that isn't the case and he's played his last game for Leipzig, and Leipzig did say that openly, the Leipzig president say something to that effect in the public, and he's still be available. Give me another young, established Premier League proven midfielder that will come and write and come and upgrade our squad from day one. I haven't taken my time to do that, and off the top of my head, I can't just give you any name for the sake of it. That's not how I operate. Rise to Arsenal is almost done. I've known again his preference of late, especially after the recent rumors or suggest his preference has always been Arsenal. And I get it. Some people, if he asks them, would tell you he's going to come back to Chelsea. He loves Chelsea. His latest at Chelsea. And I'm sure, I'm going to say this again, I'm sure I'm not friends with one content creator because at one point he was arguing Rice wants to come to Chelsea. And I said, hold on, did you speak with Rice and he told you that? I know he candidly said no because it was a live stream. but probably was pained the way I asked him that question. But it was just me letting people know it's not certain that Rice come to Chelsea. If anything, he'd feel like he needs to go somewhere else and show Chelsea they could have done whatever they can to keep him. That's how I think. There's still a chance he becomes a Chelsea player. You never know. City just got the treble, made me sick, but Chelsea are still big. Got 2 Champions League. I'm start from there. If anybody wants to argue with me, 6 European trophies overall. All trophies. I understood that. We've signed Santos Caicedo and Veiga. We've signed Veiga. Have we signed Veiga?
No,
This
no,
another Veiga?
not yet. Not yet.
Probably is a mistake. Probably should be paid.
Probably a mistake. I don't think we actually rumors actually were not seriously looking at him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's a mix up there. Yeah, Veiga. And who? I don't know those.
Probably your Diaz. That sounds like a journalist.
Yeah, I don't know those names. If Chelsea had 115 charges against them, would already be in League. If that's League 10, would be in League 10 because it's Chelsea, and they deduct so many points that we still owe them a point going into next season. As we play them, we'll keep deducting. If Chelsea do anything wrong like that, Marshall is the one. I'm telling you. Which of the Marshall, Anthony Marshall? You having a conversation with somebody there? By the way, you only have 4 fingers, and one is the thumb. Okay, thank you, baby. I don't know that. I just learned. I've always said.
Coach.
Sorry.
That's an old one.
Okay. Let's see. Stop with these project players. This is Chelsea, North Brighton. We know Champions League football next season. We don't have. I think you're saying we just get Palinha, Caicedo, and keep us Sanchez, Caicedo, and Chukwuemeka if RC Mount Kova leave. I think you've been correct. We're losing too many midfielders. We need to, buy many or keep a few and buy a few. If that makes sense, the balance will be key. We move on to the next topic. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. We have 108 likes. I appreciate you guys. We were shooting for 300 likes, but 100 is fine. And the poll that asks the question, what should Chelsea do with Chukwuemeka? 9% says sell him, 44% says loan him out, and 47% says keep him. It's more, which means more people want the club to keep him than those that want him sold. Let's look at the next topic. So, breaking news: Chelsea initiate contact over the possibility of signing Mike Maignan from AC Milan, French international. I think the report is coming from a French outlet. GFN, I don't know where that one is. But here's the thing, I'm confused what's going on out there. Do we want to sign him and Onana, the 2 Milan goalkeepers? Or do we want to sign either of the two? It just doesn't make sense. The other one is saying we've already agreed personal terms with Andre Onana, so I'm not too sure. Anybody on the panel want to weigh in on this one? This guy here is an excellent shot stopper, but close to Onana in terms of his distribution and his ability on the ball. Onana is just, you can say, superior in that aspect. I don't know anybody on the panel want to weigh in on that. If you ask me, I'd say the club will probably most likely prioritize Onana. But whoever wants to come in, you go ahead.
So let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we talk about like Guardiola. You know, he's surplus to requirements, correct? We don't need him. You agree with me about we don't need to purchase him? I think we can safely say, just in my opinion, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, the disclaimer is important.
Yeah, is he seriously that superior to, for instance, Kepa? I personally don't think so. His distribution isn't superior. It's just as good, if not sometimes. Listen, he didn't have a great game yesterday, but there's nothing he could have done about the goal To be honest with you, you can't say
He
had
didn't see
Kepa,
that goal. That goal
no,
went by two players. He's
yeah,
if
yeah,
he even see if he even got
exactly.
to see it, it would be very late.
And you know, had Kepa been in goal there, hypothetically, you'd have everyone and their mother complaining, "We need a bigger goalkeeper." Has nothing to do. It's they have to understand that there's certain things that you can't do, and I don't see like look at not because of his size, but just because of his stop making ability, for instance, or Courtois. You know, I'd say yeah, a Courtois is an upgrade over Kepa or a Mendy. You know, maybe not distribution wise. Listen, it's serviceable with his feet, but he's such an amazing stopper. You know, someone that is an elite. I'm talking really an elite stopper. This chap you have on the screen, is he better than Kepa or Mendy? I don't know.
Shop stopping. There's actually a solid argument that he's the better of the two. The
So
three
You you
goalkeepers
you
actually.
mentioned
my my,
Donnarumma.
conje- my conjecture is if Chelsea can just bear with me on this hypothesis, right? Hypothetically, if we can win any silverware this year, we can win it with both keepers. They're that good. They're good enough to win the
If you have a
league.
good defense and a good
Yeah,
midfield
yes.
that's defending, I think nobody will actually notice the
I don't listen.
deficiencies of a goalkeeper.
I don't listen, and I know Mendy's been out of form, but I'm saying when he's been in form, he's proven that we can win the Champions League, that we can win multiple silverware. Same with Kepa.
Mhm.
We've proven that they're good enough. Listen. This is my opinion. If Kepa was horrible with his feet, I'm talking about, like Bambi on ice bad. Then I'd say yes, we need to upgrade him. But I honestly believe that our money is better suited in other departments. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Coach, I'd like to hear Roger's true gut feeling on next season. Okay, Roger, I'll bring you back to this particular question in a bit. I'll highlight it. Don't let me forget. Cobham Daycare, we have a bunch of players that don't believe in Chelsea and they have to be gone this week. But we cannot wait to sell them if we see a buyer so really interested. I think we have to finish that show. We'll find space. Keep loan. We haven't actually done the season review. Nothing football related. The new Spider-Man movie is fire. Okay, I think it's good. Every now and then we share such information. That's what we're community. Onana was amazing yesterday. I'm sold on Onana at least for the next 2 to 3 years. I think it's a good goalkeeper. Kachila, watch Arsenal get Rice. Shocking. I don't need the time to do research and tell me that. And we then get Paulina for 50 million. We finished the 12th and not first. We should be proactive, not reactive in the market if we want to compete. If not, mid-table season in the coming season. Where did I highlight that? Onana's press resistant in midfield, split and passes. Wow, that was delicious, really. Elite level, and it was against a prime Man City side. That means Chelsea are going to buy the bad one of the options available. I get where you're going with that. They all are on the same level, Roger. That's why I said no point getting a keeper. I've actually done a comparison of Onana in the Kepa. Kepa, as at the time I produced the video, was the better of the two. If that makes sense, I'd rather Mike over Onana. His last name I find it difficult to pronounce. Pay the extra 15 or 20 million or try get Pulisic in the deal to drop the price. Let's see what the club wants to do. His name is like Mignon with a French accent. I'm not going to do that. Keep dropping the likes. Start the stream. Anybody else want to say anything with regards to the goalkeeping situation before we move on?
Yeah.
Ty, you have anything to say? You go ahead.
Um, the, if it's a case where we're looking at both Onana and I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, and like you said, Mike, um, at least that's a positive because both are quite similar. I do think that well, in my opinion, Mike does. It sounds kind of weird saying Mike, but I think
It does.
I think he's yeah, I think he's the I think he edges it a bit more. I think he's the better shot stopper, just a tad bit more. And then Onana is more confident on the ball. I saw that yesterday when I was watching the Champions League final. He was playing like he was a 10. He was he was close to City's half, making passes. He was making those long stretch passes, and he nearly worked out. He's you can see that he's confident on the ball, and even though that there was this moment where Holland fouled him, I think you can see the confidence that he has. That's not something that I like though, because he can make those mistakes, and it kind of gave me Mendy PTSD against Leeds.
Yep.
You don't
But
want a heart attack too.
yeah, I don't have a heart attack, and my heart isn't good, right? So I have to be careful. But yeah,
Just be careful what you wish for. That's my only. This is what I'm saying. With Kepa, you know what you have. He's consistently excellent on the ball, distribution wise, and he's a good shot stopper. That's my feeling.
Yeah, you made a good point. Ty, were you still talking?
yeah,
Sorry, Ty. Sorry.
yeah.
Sure.
I was gonna say that. So in that sense, the only difference between the two of them is the fact that I think he's more pricey than Onana would be. I think that's what it's being
Oh,
quoted.
really?
I think that's what I think it's 20 or something along those lines million more for him. I mean, I think that would be logical as well, because I think he's on a long contract. I think that AC Milan got him last year. But in all, I think he's a very good improvement on Donnarumma. He's proven it, and obviously they won the Scudetto. So obviously not the Scudetto this year, but they had won. No, it was
This
last
is
year. Yeah, there was a season before. He joined them the season before. So he's a good goalkeeper, and in that sense, I think it'd be worth getting him. But right now, I think Onana is the safer option, and I've seen that some people are judging Onana, but I'm not going to go into that.
all right, Tomeho, you have anything to add to this particular topic? I know you've spoken about both goalkeepers, but if you have anything else to add, you go ahead.
In terms of buying a goalkeeper,
Uh-huh.
uh, this guy will cost us a lot of money. So,
Which of them?
Mike, Mike, Mike Maignan from AC Milan, I don't think will come cheap. If you check the recent reports from Fabrizio Romano, he said it that this guy won't even be less than 60 million. So, if you want him, it's gonna
Wow.
be more. So I rather step back and watch another goalkeepers. In terms of I think Valencia goalkeeper is tall, 6'6", uh, shot stopper, 22 years old. He can learn a lot of things. I rather go for him. I think it will be cheap than buying this guy with a more than 16 million. Ah, man, after Kepa transfer fee, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Does anyone have the figure of how for how many plastics started supporting Man City this morning? Where did all these ex-Arsenal fans come from? Possibly that direction. You just pronounced it perfectly, brother. Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's see what else we have here. Beautiful game. Let's see any other game. I'm going to pass on the despicable Mike. Okay, let's see. Smash the like on people and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Hopefully, we get to 12,000 subscribers as soon as possible. I am worried about Onana if things aren't going well. He's a bit out there. Yep, I think JC also did complain about his behavior when he wanted to join us. I worry such behavior. Thomas Bates, nice to see you once again. I hope you're doing well. Onana is the cheaper option. People that caught up on having a taller goalkeeper make me laugh. Kabul and Mama Desville, I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. all good options. So many so-called City fans have been called out on streams. Coach, I saw a classic of a TFT where a fan tried to hold up a City shirt from his childhood, and yet it was an extra large plastic shirt. Oh my gosh. Roger, can you answer this question, please?
Let me have a look, sir. Sorry.
It says, Coach, I'd like to hear Roger's true gut feeling on next season. I want you to talk about that before we move on to the next topic.
Yeah, I'm optimistic, actually. I'm a bit... My only concern is that Poch isn't in the facilities right now. He's not working on site with... And I understand a lot of the team, if not all of them, are on holiday. I get that. But he should be working in the office, doing his homework with his backroom staff. He's probably doing that anyway, just off site, knowing that he's a hard worker. But I'm optimistic, naive perhaps. I think it all boils down to the same thing, the same problems we had last year. And that is we produce enough XG. We produce chances, but we're not clinical. This is the thing. This is the main reason why we were not successful last season, that we didn't make top 7 or top 4. It's that simple. So until that can be remedied and rectified, we're going to experience the same issue. And Nkunku could unlock things. Maybe that the Pochettino getting the team in shape, maybe sticking to a set formation and possibly one backup one or a hybrid, and having continuity. And because of the fact we're not going to have any European football next year, and you mentioned this several months ago often, Coach, that will be advantageous to us not having
in so many
European
ways.
football. Yeah, because you can spend so much more time on the training field, in Cobham, just working out.
Less travel.
Yeah, less travel, less wear and tear on the bodies, but more importantly, you're going to have more substantive, more. You're going to be able to build a relationship with players on the field. You'll gain continuity, repetition. This is important. You don't just add water and voila, a beautiful recipe. No, it takes time. And with that time being granted because of no European football, this will go far. Just like we had, 5-6 years ago with Conte, Not saying we're going to win the league. I don't mean to say that. My gut feeling is we're going to make top 7, possibly top 4. It depends. Another huge issue is we stay healthy. We cannot be depleted like we have been the last year. Not making excuses, but no team, including Man City, can be successful if you're missing between 8 and 12 players each week. It just can't. So whatever the reason for our injuries, that needs to be eradicated, period. And just, sustain that. And so I feel that we can be successful if we eradicate what I've said about injuries, and basically we can form a continuity on the pitch. But we need to be clinical. Otherwise, you're going to see us out of the top 7 again.
Right, thank you so much for that. I see this is actually the first debate where I am actually stumped on. I don't know Mike Maignan. I don't know Mike Maignan is a world-class goalkeeper, but Onana is the second best goalkeeper when it comes to distribution. You can argue actually he's one of the best in the whole world. But Maignan is a better stopper of the two. We should go for goalkeepers because of ability, not because of fees. If the fee is high and the goalkeeper is good, then fine by me. But if we can afford, that is, if we can afford that player, if that makes sense. A Mexican goalkeeper, Georgie Campos. Oh, I like him so much. I like him. 130 caps for his country, despite standing at just a 5'6". Meanwhile, Frank, let me just got up. Is that Planica managed to become an all-time great, despite only being a 5'8". Listen, lot of people, unfortunately, will always bring up the height of a goalkeeper for one reason or the other. Our
It's the
brother here, and
wingspan.
panelists, and one of the senior panelists here, it's Bobby's thing to always mention the height of a goalkeeper in every
But
department.
wingspan is more important than height.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I didn't even know there's a difference between the two, so I have to learn. And that is the goalkeepers union chairman there, Roger speaking. So he has so many jobs. He's usually the lawyer for our coaches and also the goalkeepers union chairman. So he understands everything about that. But thank you, Roger. Honestly, seriously, I didn't know there's the difference.
Yeah,
There's no, you could say.
you can have someone at 6'2", but they could have shorter arms than goalkeeper
Okay,
B.
now it makes sense. Now it
You know,
makes
they
sense.
could be the same height, but
Mhm.
you know, wingspan. Now, obviously, there's usually an average wingspan based on per height, but
Mhm.
there are exceptions to that rule. I just wanted to point out that.
Now it does make sense. Guys, thank you for 110 likes. You people are absolute legends. Appreciate that. We're aiming for 300, but we'll be rounding off soon. Pep was so impressed with Onana. He couldn't help but to speak of him. I think he likes him. This is sort of keeper. He will be plug and play for Pep because I would say Onana is actually better on the ball than Ederson. That's my opinion. His pre-post match, I saw that too. I believe in Pochettino added to him a given time, but should make a quick pick of the players because time is, blinking. Taking whatever, however you want to describe that. His thing, we need to be strategic in the market too. Bully Daniel Chukwuemeke, I know the meaning of all your names there, so I sincerely do appreciate your name. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We have 110 likes, yeah, we're getting closer and closer to 12,000 subscribers. That will happen in a few days. I strongly believe as long as we're all strong and healthy and able to roll, we'll be good. Chelsea FC has what it takes to be in top four next season. I think with a few signings here and there, strategic signings. I'd like to see a midfield of Enzo. Is that Milinkovic? Is it Sergeant Milinkovic, the Lazio player? Savage? Yeah, that's him. Caicedo or Paulinho. Not a bad combo, but it doesn't look like we're too serious about Sergeant Milinkovic. Wingspan and large hands too. Yep. Constantine Dundee, Australian
Strong wrist.
bro. Yeah, because that can help you keep reach for the ball and hold it without it falling out. Now I'm becoming a goalkeeper expert myself. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, even also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let's check the next item with regards to the goalkeeper options. Andrew Onana, David Raya, Mike Maignan are all being looked at by Chelsea. Although a move for Maignan is seen as tough deal to strike, as a tough deal to strike with AC Milan. I think it's just everywhere. This just shows us, and I don't know who Bobby Vincent is. I don't know him that much to say with that. I've seen lots of the Twitter journalists outlet of just Twitter accounts quoting his reports. So I'm not sure what to make of this, but the fact is, I think the rumors that we've agreed personal terms with Andrew Onana doesn't sound like it's the truth. We've also one report is saying we've made contact with AC Milan with regards to the possibility of signing Mike Maignan. I don't just believe all of them. It just shows that we're everywhere right now. This here shows we're everywhere. Yeah, let's see what the club does. The Premier League options are also good. I love Andy Martinez, but that one has actually gone cold. It doesn't look like we're that interested in signing Amy Martinez. Let me see if anybody in the chat has anything to say with regards to that. Okay. Thank you for saying that, Constantine Dante. If they don't get a decent midfield correct, now we will be in trouble. And I've heard my friend Mikhail say that too. And somebody in the chat have actually said that we'll be in trouble for a while. If they need to get this transfer market, say, will define the future of the club. You can say that they are 3 to 4 years or so at least. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 111 likes. Thank you. I cannot appreciate you people a lot enough. Question for the panel: how long and what will it take for Chelsea to win the Champions League again? There's no talent, but if you
We are winning it next season.
let's start by saying, yeah, for obvious reasons, it would definitely not be the coming season.
Next season.
I'm a scientist.
Genius, coach. Genius.
I'm a genius, right? Ty, you were saying something. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Ty, were you saying something? But Roger, you get my let's start by saying it's not going to be next season. So you could argue there's a chance we'll be able to win it in 2 years. It depends on the sort of players we sign.
You know what, coach? Here's the deal.
Yeah.
It's a cup competition. And look at the game last night. Okay. I believe Man City's the best club football team in the world. But you know
Right now
what,
they
though?
are.
But right now they were quite fortuitous. They didn't play very well. They were nervous. You could tell they were not on form, and they haven't been for a few weeks now. And to be honest with you, they made mistakes, and they were quite fortuitous. They could have easily gone behind.
I would still say, had Pep not been a bit pragmatic as I believe he was yesterday, I think they would have.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please? I didn't quite catch that.
Because I thought he was a bit more pragmatic than usual.
Sure, well, it's a cup final.
But he usually is. The day they played on, he wasn't.
Well, you're playing.
Didn't overthink it yesterday, but go ahead.
No, which is a good thing. Well, apart from Walker, not playing Walker, I thought could have been an issue. But listen, you're playing a very pragmatic Italian team, and I say that as a compliment, by the way. That it's not meant derogatory or anything like that. They're very well drilled. The fundamentals, they're sound defensively. They believe in the ethos: if you don't concede, you don't lose. You know, it's quite logical. You know,
and he works to a considerable extent.
Yeah,
they weren't just clinical in front of goal.
Honestly, had it gone differently, they could have easily lost that game. Italy. Milan could have easily have won it. You know, they were fortuitous, City, in front of goal defensively. You know, and listen, I'm not saying, because a lot of the time the better team doesn't always win. You know that, and I know that. Let's be honest. When we played City, they're a better team than us. But guess what? We had Lady Luck on our side. So the real test of a team is winning a league, because it's continuity. It's home and away, 38 games. And so that's a true mark of telling where you are. So to win, yes, I know you look at Real Madrid, okay, but they play with tremendous depth, and they play with the knowledge that they've won it before. You look at City. Now City could progress in the next 5 years, assuming Pep stays, and you could see them play a different game in the final from now on, assuming they make it, because they've been there, they've done it. Does that make sense?
It does.
It's similar in the NFL too. It invariably always happens that, look at City. Most teams don't win the first time they make a final. So experience does matter. Now they've got experience. Chelsea, I think, the better benchmark would be not to win a cup competition, but how well we do in the league. That's the true benchmark, the bellwether, in my opinion.
Yes. Just quickly, this says that too much goalkeeper talk makes Roger giddy.
I'm quite content.
I like that one.
I'm quite content us only talking about keepers, to be honest with you.
Chelsea has what it takes to be in the top four next season.
Yeah.
If the dressing room will be handled very well by the new manager, I think it will. Plus,
Coach,
a lot of you could say the problematic players will most likely leave.
Can I just say something regarding that? And it has to. And I have to mention the L word here. I'm so sorry. But
no, you go ahead. We've already talked about. We've actually discussed them at length.
Yeah, I didn't know. I apologize.
You know, he's the mammoth, the elephant.
Yeah, the woolly mammoth,
dinosaur in the room. Yeah. So go ahead.
But you know what? He made a difference coming on. You must admit, aerially, he made life difficult for them.
I'm not going to be on your side for this argument.
No. Listen. I'm telling you, I'm not a Lukaku fan. I'm just saying what my eyes saw, and he made a difference. Do I want him at Chelsea? No, I don't.
Okay.
Because I believe potentially he's a cancer in the locker room, and the reason why I brought him up is because someone had mentioned the locker room, and I think no matter what he does on the pitch, I believe he's more susceptible to disrupting the cohesiveness of the team. That's my biggest issue with him.
Yeah, I do agree with you. For Onana, it will depend on the price sent to AC Milan, but still a lot of good players are pending to their teams, waiting on for 14th July. Let's see what happens there. And have I said hello to you? I think I did. Moretti. I am on career mode. Katila, the league, not the Champions League. Even the league, here's the thing. I would say logic says it's a possibility because we'll be part of it. And you don't know what's going to happen. But I'm not going to go to the extent of saying we can win it. I'm just going to say we'll do better than a lot of people anticipate we'll be able to do. The league, it's a possibility. You never know. Anything can happen. We've seen ourselves in a very bad season, and then the next season go ahead to win it. What makes it easier for us? Lots of those that will be up there fighting, for the top four in the league. They will have they will have European assignments to deal with.
Exactly.
So that makes it the possibility. The possibility is there. Let me just put it that way. But I want to hold my breath for it. For Kai, he has dropped better. Get other options. Get Federico Valverde. The rumors are they were actually bidding 112 million. I'm not sure if it was pounds or euros, but I actually don't believe that, if you ask me. This rebuild process, 1 second.
Hello? Anybody there?
1 second, 1 second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So sorry, Roger. This review is going to take a while. We can win with such a young talent. We cannot win with such young talent. Most of our experienced players are gone. I don't see us looking to buy experienced players yet. I think we should be looking to do that. Balance is key. Will be key to what we achieve next season.
Yes.
But I get your argument, and it's a sensible argument. End of the season got to City. They've gone basically all the way in our competition. You can see them. They look tired. They were not as effective they were when they picked form.
Does anyone know how many games they played last year?
I don't know really, but you can argue at one point. You see, even from the Real Madrid game, you could see since they were Kevin De Bruyne especially.
Kevin De Bruyne's legs. Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne's legs were gone. You can see
he looked exhausted at that point. Yeah. So
plus a World Cup in the middle of the season, I think it's all added to that too. With all due respect.
Yeah, that's the truth. Chelsea club need to be reviewed afresh and not to come up with previous coaches. Okay. Grealish, most of the players have said they had a crappy game, but just happy they won. I think they were a bit pragmatic. They weren't trying to keep it beautiful at all costs. They didn't take too many risks. Okay, did it again. What a waste. This guy is like Havertz 2.0, unaware of anything, any other striker. Milan wins this game. Here's the thing, I take Havertz over him. That's my opinion. Yes, coach, we have seen a bad season before, but we still had a core of experienced players. Now we don't. Why are you making me look like an idiot here? That's a solid argument right there. Honestly, the Constantine, you're very correct, but I don't like it because you're shaming me right now. It's a solid argument, but never say never. The possibility is still there, but believe me, that's a very sensible argument. I'd have to agree with you. Lukaku did make a difference. He did make it difficult for them. The only problem was he was making it difficult for. I knew somebody was going to come at Roger. That's, by the way, that's why we enjoyed this show. Everybody is entitled to their opinion, and we enjoy it. Respect to each other. In my opinion, even if we get Paulinho and Caicedo and a good striker, the best we get is top four. If we depend on this current squad, we might be fighting for relegation. I don't think we'll have, you could say, nearly an entirely new squad in the coming season. But that's how I see it. And for Sunsports, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Though I supported the idea of bringing Kukurea, but when he came in, I realized that we wasted our money because of Lewis Hall, Sanders Mudryk. We could have gone for a mature talent like Marcus Thuram. We wanted Thuram. We wanted Mudryk, and also we wanted Marcus Thuram of formerly of Montblanc Black, because I think he most definitely leave him now as a free agent. But he didn't want to come to us. That's how I see it. He wants to leave as a free agent. Even before that, I argued we were never going to get him, because I've heard him argue that he's going to take his time to consider his future when the season ends. And there weren't shortage of clubs seeking to sign him. Barcelona wanted him. I think there are other clubs I just can't recall. But that's, by the way, we'll move on to the next topic. Let's go. And let's see what we have here. I've read that one here. This one for then was proper Chelsea yesterday around the goal. But what a delicious turn. I think you could argue it was a good save, but I think it could have done better. City shouldn't actually be looking for. I think it'd be easy for City to let what's his name, the German international, leave now, Gundogan, since they have Foden. Foden can actually fulfill the Gundogan role. If anything, Gundogan is just more experienced, but I like Foden. He has to be the most talented English player, honestly. Right,
he's the most technical English player I've ever seen.
Yeah, from a technical perspective, I know he's an intelligent player. He's a good passer of the ball. He's a good dribbler. He has everything. And as much as a Chelsea fan, I remember.
Except for height, coach.
Sorry?
Except for height. I'm just kidding.
Except for height, yeah. But still,
doesn't need it.
Every other thing will suffice. He possesses it will suffice. But I get where Thomas Base is coming from. Chelsea all the way. Let's see what we have here. Onana is very good with his feet. He's excellent with his feet. Arsenal have not won the league for 19 years. I hope Chelsea don't break that record. I don't think would stay that long before winning that league again. Winning the league again. That's for me. This says Chelsea do not want to give up Kai Havertz at a bargain price, and I agree. I've said that before. It is said that Real Madrid would be willing to pay a minimum of 50 million euros, but Chelsea want at least 60 million euros. Yeah, I'll pay. And it's still a long way. The transfer window is still a long way to go, and he still has about 3 years left in his contract or so. So here's the thing. I think at most, at least 2. Let me just put it that way. I'm going to say this quickly. I agree with Chelsea. The first sell you could argue will set the tone for how the other player sales will go. Why do I say that? All the buying clubs looking to sign players for us, will be looking to see how desperate we are to sell players. And if we show any measure, show desperation to any considerable measure, to any, let me just use the term considerable measure. Every other club that wants to buy a player from us will be lowballing us, believing that we're desperate. Of course, we're desperate, but we don't need to show that. Roger, I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
No, I think that's sound logic, actually. I'm not saying that we could mess up on the first deal and not be successful with the remainder of the deals, but I think you're correct in your assessment. I think the first deal has to set the tone for the remainder of the season. It's that simple. I honestly think that we need to be disciplined in what we do. financially.
Yeah, there's a chance it still goes for that price, but we shouldn't just, for the sake of wanting to sell, and say, okay, you want Kai for 50, take him. We're actually over to that. You know, it's a risk. Ty, I don't know if you have anything to add to that particular topic there. Should I move on to the last one so I can round up? We'll see what I can do for my board. Okay, thank you, Ty. It doesn't look like he has anything to add. And this one here says, in terms of Lukaku, he's good, but need a proper touches. Sent to Kai Mudryk in orders, but they couldn't. Okay, let Felix go. Okay, look at Man City. It has taken 8 good years. What a team. Hope Poch is getting this. I think he gets it. Constantine Dante, you and I are fighting. You shamed me publicly with a very solid argument I like, but I don't like you anymore. It all depends. If Poch will use him correctly, if he doesn't really want him, then you need to sell him because he wouldn't be happy on the bench. Well, just rattle the squad again. I don't want to risk that. It will be I don't know. It doesn't make any sort of sense walking to rekindle a toxic relationship. Kachila, I agree with you. Clubs know we're desperate. We're desperately desperate to sell players, and hence lowball us. But at the same time, we must sell a lot. We must sell a lot. But this is no time to panic. I think we still have a lot more time on our side. We should be careful not to set the tone. You know, and the sales won't be favorable to us. Right here, if a big offer of 42 to 51 million comes in, again, it goes. If you show Inter Milan the money, that amount being mentioned there, 51 million pounds, it would be hard for Inter Milan to say no. But Onana's post-game interview saying he loves Inter, he wants to stay at Inter, that debunks the rumors that we've agreed personal terms with him. It just doesn't make sense that he's happy and wants to stay at Inter and likes Inter and all that, yada, 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 and then agree personal terms with us. I think it's silly season. It's no shocking to hear such. Onana is good. Thomas Tomsey, I think he's good too. Back to goalkeeper once more. Yeah, it's me, my fault. I did not arrange them properly. We're not going to talk about Onana anymore. So don't try to shame me publicly, Constantine Dante. I think that's what you're here to do today, is to shame me publicly. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you for 160 likes. The poll, which says goalkeeper choice, Onana 67%, Maignan 33%. Not shocking. I knew a lot of people prefers Onana over Mike. Pochettino to use his stitches in case he follows club owners. He will get in darkness automatically. I'm not sure what to make of that. Apologies to you, Kachila. We don't have time. 2 weeks to preseason. How many players do you think Chelsea can sell and buy before preseason? In most cases, you could argue. I can actually argue right now. There's a chance we haven't sold some players due to their salaries, due to how much they're seeking to start
Yes.
the moment they join another club. And you know fully well when players switch clubs, they seek a pay rise. And we've seen occasions where we're not able to sell players due to their salary. Had it not been for Kepa's current wages, he'd be gone by now. Last summer, actually, Lazio wanted him, and I think Napoli wanted him, but they pulled out due to the salary demands. So it's complicated, but I hope we'll be able to sell as many players we want to sell to be able to take care of other things. Too many likes tonight. Take it easy, guys. Constantine Dante. Even though we're fighting, I can't resist the temptation to say your name like that. But that's by the way, Roger. Anything else you want to say with regards to this comment, the sales of the players? Do you have anything to say with regards to that?
No, I think there's. Okay, this is just my opinion. Okay, obviously Nkunku is a lock to come in. I assume. I think Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang needs to go. Ziyech needs to go, assuming the salaries are contingent on that. Pulisic is a question mark. I'm not sure whether he leaves or not. I'm trying to think who else. I'm looking through the whole roster right now. Kante and Kova have gone. Aspie's going to be going. I think that's a fair assumption. On loan, I think Amari Hutchinson may go out on loan. Possibly Cassidy. I wish Sterling, but no. So you're looking at another 6 to 8 players either being sold or going out on loan, and obviously Mendy or Kepa or both. So we've got 4 keepers on the squad. You know, Kepa, Mendy, Bettinelli, and Slolina. Slolina's probably going to go out on loan, or if we do get a new starting keeper, Kepa could go, Mendy could go, Slolina could be a third string potentially or second. So
Yeah.
And the only person I can see coming in other than Gusto would be Ampadu and Colwell. You know, those are the only 2 that could potentially. We got 22 players out on loan, coach. So you tell me. We've got a hugely bloated squad. It needs to be reduced.
Yeah, I agree with you. Coachella, we don't have the time. I think we just address that. Constantine Dante, too many likes. Yeah, we would like that. Inter got him for free. Of course, they will sell, but that doesn't mean they will have to sell him for cheap. Inter have the oldest team on average in the league, I believe. So Onana may want to reassess his situation. Maybe he may want to. Why Onana? Yet we have somebody like Emiliano Martinez. Emiliano Martinez is a good option, and I like him. He has that what I call Chelsea attitude. Waste of money. I think Chelsea should change
Argentina.
the style of selling and buying. Poch, please keep him out. Yeah, keep begging him and keep praying. If you go to church today, if you have not, make sure to put on a prayer request that Poch should keep him. Ty, you were saying something?
I was saying, and Martinez is also Argentinian. So
Yeah.
yeah, sort of,
You talk about the Villa keeper.
yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But
But
it's
both of them
looking
are.
like. Yeah, go ahead, Ty.
Both of them are. If you was talking about Lautaro Martinez, both of them are Argentine. So
Yeah. Lautaro Martinez is Argentine too.
Can I ask you a
Edson
question?
Alvarez is Argentine too. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask you a question, both of you? Who do you think should go out on loan on our current roster?
I think we have to finish that keep yourself. I think, wow. Omari Hutchinson definitely alone.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
think
loan
so.
thing is the loan calling the loan shots is a difficult one right now.
Yeah.
There's a chance we get Ian Matson to put pen to paper for a new contract and then stay out on loan. We can explain to him, look, we have to get rid of one of those 2, but we respectfully will want you. Why don't you please just spend one more season since you're able to, get promoted with Burnley? Spend one more season with them. Prove yourself in the Premier League. You have a chance, but it's not easy to do. Sell one of these 2 guys. There will be space for you. You have a future here. If we can make that happen, he stays on loan.
Do you
Sorry?
think Dutch? Sorry.
go on.
No, go ahead, Ty. You were saying something?
You say, Ty.
No, I was saying that he's 21 as well. So
Yeah, exactly.
even for the average age of a left back, when you're signing them, they're around 23. And if you go younger than that, that's for the future. But he has, well, I don't want to say he has time on his side because anything can happen. But there's time there. So and considering the ages of Chilwell and Kukurea, yeah, it's kind of difficult because we have to get rid of one to make space for him because we also have other players who can play.
Also, Hall played in that position the last few
Exactly.
games, and he acquitted himself exceptionally well, especially with his crosses and corners. Do you think he stays, or does he go out on loan, Hall?
I think we
Not
should
too
keep
sure.
him. I think we should keep him.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think we should keep him really. He's actually better than some of the midfielders we have right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, even Cham in the midfield. That's one thing I want to see. I want
Yeah,
to see
but
him in the midfield because that's his
and the
natural
kid
position.
actually, even in the centre back position, in the left back position, wow, something new I learned about his game. I've always known that even if he has 2-3 players on him, he doesn't usually turn back in up for several
Exactly like
passing
Chilwell.
backwards. He
Chilwell,
progresses the ball
yes.
even with 2-3 players on him. And
did
something
against
as I
City.
learned, the way he shoots the ball is something I enjoy about footballers so much.
He's the opposite of Chilwell, isn't he, in that regard?
You can get him off the ball once he decides to shield it.
Yes.
Even Raheem Sterling, as experienced as he is, once you come from behind you closer, you taking the ball away from him.
Yes.
So that is not something that you don't see that players.
Do you notice Chilwell does that all the time, Coach? He doesn't even look to progress. He passes all the way. 99% he passes backwards.
He often opts for safer option. Lots of our players do that actually, and that has been very problematic for us for a while now.
Yes.
Go ahead, Ty. You were saying something.
Yeah, and if Chilwell does do that, he ends up getting tackled and gets injured. That's one thing that's happened. He did do it a couple of games in the season that just ended in the Champions League to create, but yeah, Kukurea to some extent recently. I know he I don't know. I still feel like it has to do with confidence with Kukurea. I'm not sure because we were seeing a Kukurea who was finding passing lanes where even if it's small, and know he's going back.
That actually, Ty, good point. Just 1 second, if I can come in there quickly, Ty. That Kukurea's ability of finding passing lanes where you don't know one exists, you can say that helps him to progress the ball more than Chilwell can, because Chilwell is not good at finding passing lanes in tight situations. But go ahead, Ty, with what you were saying. Thank you for raising that point.
Yeah. So in that sense, and this is not me saying that we should sell Chilwell, but in a sense, when you look at attributes and what on their best day, the situation is that Kukurea has that ability. He has good passing vision, and his ability to progress the ball forward. He does do it. But to go back to the point about what you said about Lewis Hall, yeah, and I remember against Man City, I think it was against Man United as well, where you could see the confidence that he has to progress the ball, and the only way you get the ball from him is if you tackle him or if you launch
you have to foul him,
yeah. So in that sense, that is one of the reasons why when you look at players like that, and I'm happy for him because I remember when little praises that he got on the Tuchel and then he just stopped playing because I could see the player and to go back to that, he's a player that fights for the ball because I remember the game. I don't remember what team he was against. The assist he got for Lukaku, he lost the ball. He got it back and then he crossed it into the box for Lukaku. So that is something that you want. He's not a natural left back, but the versatility that he has, that is something to love. He reminds me of, I don't remember his name. We used to have this player at Chelsea who had that versatility. I cannot remember his name right now. But for that reason, I think and especially for how young he is, you can just imagine, if he stays away from injuries and everything, what he can become and the player that he could be in the future. But I think we should keep him. But
I think we should.
Yeah, and I like Roger. The question Roger asked about who to loan. It's kind of difficult because we have a lot of players that we have to sell, and like the points you raised, we have over 20 players on loan. Most of them actually aren't players that really have a future at the club. I know Dusan Sterling is likely to leave. I think he's already going to another club when
he's gone to Rangers already. Is it Rangers? Rangers. Oh yeah, good.
Yeah. So that's done. I can't believe that we keep. We have Rahman still, who we keep extending his contract and then loaning him out again. I don't know.
Bakayoko. It's like wow. Yeah. Still.
Bakayoko.
And then if you look back, you can actually say, "Hallelujah! We've been able to let go the likes of drink wine and others." Sometimes our fans. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I just ask one other question very briefly? Sorry. So what about Cassidy? Do you think he goes out alone or no?
It's difficult to say. I think we've lost two important midfielders, which means there's a chance for them. But if we goes out and if we go out and sign two more midfielders, then it becomes a problem. But right now, there's a space for Casade. You can say there's a space for Carney Chukwuemeka. There's a space for also Andre Sanchez. But if we sign two midfielders, then it becomes even more difficult to fathom what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a chance for them, space for them now that we've lost two midfielders. And if Ruben Loftus-Cheek ends up leaving, then there's even the chances of them staying even bigger. But everything comes down how many more midfielders were signed. Sometimes our fans really surprise me, and not in the smartest way. This here says, I hope Pochettino is getting this information from fans. Where would Hall play in a 4-2-3-1? That's a good question. That's you assuming that Pochettino will play predominantly with that structure, but I think he has to adapt to what's going to bring out the best of the players he has. So in the 4-2-3-1, it's difficult to say, really. Since he's been able to play in the wing-back position, can he play as a midfielder? The midfielders usually are capable of playing on the flanks. He can actually play as a winger. Yeah.
I actually prefer him to play as the left-back.
Not left-back, really left wing-back maybe. Left-back will be wasting his talent because if he play with a defensive-minded manager in a left-back position, he will never get a chance to go do anything in the final third.
And you see,
yeah.
And to be fair, he's not really the strongest in that area.
He's not.
That was one aspect, and it's understandable. But you could see that because he was getting past in terms of the passes, and he wasn't really able to intercept or block some of the passes. They were just making a lot of patterns around him. So that is one thing where I think as a left wing back, and that's probably why Alonso was better in that aspect. The defensive side isn't really. The defensive side is really there. Or Emerson, for example. Emerson is more of that player that has an offensive mind trying to get forward. And that was why it was so important.
That position has evolved over time, for sure. Yeah. Can I ask, what do you think about Pep's formation, a 3-2-4-1? Is something
he can be very unorthodox. That's all I have to say about him. He can come up with one you haven't seen before.
That's what he used yesterday.
It's attacking minded, and at the same time, but the application is a bit more pragmatic than usual.
Don't forget, one of the midfielders is a centre back. So
yeah.
So it's I don't know. I kind of like it. I think it's kind of a sexy formation.
Yeah, it worked. Just quickly, if you guys don't mind, we can use Lukaku to replace Thiago Silva. Thank you so much for that suggestion. You're entitled to say that.
I know what that is.
Look what followed the comment.
Wow.
Did you see the comment, Roger?
No, let me look. Hold on.
Wow.
We have to look. I missed it. Where is it?
No, it's just Constantine follow him immediately and said, "Oh my."
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Ouch.
Oh my goodness, I can't stop laughing. Although Bali and Clalic Capital had wasted so much money on some players, but they have equally given us excellent players like Fofana, Badiashile, and Casade Sanchez. Let some people hear you say that Fofana is an excellent player, but I understand where you're coming. I think they've made mistakes and they've done some good stuff too. Hi everyone, good afternoon, Kachila and the panel. Temidayo Olunwa Rokiami, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Coach, you've been on too long. You sure? You feeling? Don't blame me. Question for the panel: is it possible to get Caicedo for 40 million and a swap for very possible? It's a deal. It depends on how much their evaluation of Caicedo and our evaluation of Levi Cohen. It's very possible. Should Maatsen be sold to Burnley? I'm not sure. I would want the club to bring him back, but not up to me. I think we must sell Havertz. He's not good enough, in my opinion. Okay, that's your opinion. The answer is yes. Then 40 million for Caicedo and get Bonilla for 50 million. Keep Sanchez, Caicedo, and Chukwuemeka in the squad, get a good score in the right wing to compete with Modric. Krisho, Norton, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. We haven't seen you in a while. Unfortunately, we're about to round up, but lateness is greatness, they say, so you're welcome. I cannot miss this daily. When I do, it throws my entire day off. Unfortunately, to see that's the situation with you. But I appreciate you. What else do we have here? That 3-2-4-1 formation is still like a 4-3-3, but hybrid maybe you could say that. With Stones are playing like a midfielder when City attack and 4 at the back when they defend. So it's well rehearsed, I have to say. But more importantly, overall, I think they won because Pep was a bit more pragmatic than usual. They didn't try to be their usual, starve you by position and all that. But that's, by the way, Roger, your final thoughts on everything we've discussed today, so we can call it a day.
Yeah, it's a good show, Coach, as always. Listen, we're entering the silly season, and to be honest with you, there's a lot of unknowns. Obviously, because he doesn't have a track record with Chelsea. Poch, I'm talking about. And when I say Poch, I'm talking about his entire coaching staff, obviously. So there's an unknown in the goalkeeping area. There's an unknown who we bring in, because we've lost 2 influential midfielders. And you're right. We're going to be this is a new era, ladies and gentlemen. We're entering the post-Kante era, who I believe over the last 5 or 6 seasons, he's been the most influential player that we've had. It's that simple. So now we're going to look completely different. And how do we go forward? This is the main question.
Yeah, I agree with you. Ty, you have anything to say? It's silly season, plus it's going to be a very difficult one for us. We're not just looking to buy, we're looking to sell quite a lot more than we're going to be buying. So
we have to offload, Coach.
Yeah, we have to offload. That compounds the situation for us. So, Ty, anything you want to add?
Yeah. First of all, Pochettino's first match is soon, and this whole transfer thing reminds me of last year, where people were panicking and saying, we're not going to sign anybody, we're not going to sign anybody, we're not going to sign anybody. The circumstances are obviously different because we have a lot of players that we're trying to offload first and not really splash cash throughout the market as we did in the past 2 windows. I think in a sense it's going to be a busy summer for Chelsea. They're going to do a lot of things. There's going to be a lot of upsets. There's going to be a lot of disappointments because that's just Chelsea. You're going to have disappointments. But
welcome to reality.
Yeah, that's just how life is actually. So it's not surprising. But we just have to just see what happens. There's a lot of players we're going to be linked with. Some of them won't come to anything. It's just going to be hearsay and talks. But at the end of the day, I think it's important that we find the best way to offload some of the deadwood players that we have. And if anything, you never know. A deadwood player could become a very tangible resource that you can use, and Pochettino may turn his career around. You never know.
Exactly.
It always happens. So I don't think we should count out all the quote unquote deadwood players that we have, because anything can happen. You never know. Bakayoko could come back and then he becomes the player that we wanted.
Yeah.
You never know.
And we could also decide to bring back drink wine, and he comes back and become the DM we're looking for.
In your dreams.
Yeah.
Don't mind Ty. But you never know, really. You
but
just don't know.
You know what? I have a feeling that, just like the Rudiger scenario we talked about previously, I have a feeling that there's going to be another Rudiger. It could be Cucurella.
I hope to see Rudigas.
Yeah.
I hope to see Rudigas, but we understand that with the reference to Rudiger, he was bad on the Frank. Should I say alienated him?
He never used him.
Something like that. And then under Thomas Tuchel, he became one of our best players. If that makes sense. Yeah, I've read that one. And from you, Christian Norton, before saying who we want to buy, we need to start offloading. The only position we need a player is a striker. I think we get even with outgoings, we need to be strategic. So if we're not able to bring in replacement, then we'll be fine. Welcome, Pochettino. Thank you for saying that, Douglas. What else do we have here? Close photo. Talk Mount and Stalin, please. Okay, just quickly. Mount most likely. It's looking like he's most likely going to leave. We want 70 plus. I'm hearing United are only willing to pay 55 to 59 or something like that. Not above 60 or not up to 60. I'm not too sure. In his case, so what happens? I don't know. As long as he's still here, the possibility is there that he stays. But more likely than not, he's going to leave. For Stalin, Stalin is staying. For many reasons.
Thanks,
he's on a
Coach.
very high wage, and switching club means he's be seeking a higher pay. For us to decide to cut ties with him, we'd have to terminate his contract, and that would be expensive too. Let's see, Roger, you wanted to add something else?
Yeah, one player that I think he could really improve, assuming he's healthy, will be Broja, because he's in the mold, the physicality of a Kane. I'm not saying he is a Kane, but if you look at him, they have so many similarities. In fact, I think Broja has better speed, but I could see him under his tutelage in time. I can see him progressing to be a good number 9 coach. I really do.
Yeah.
Nkunku's usually, I see him as a second number 9, not as a true number 9.
I see Nkunku as a winger, as a 10. I don't think.
Yeah, as a 10, exactly, or second striker.
Playing Nkunku as a 9, you're wasting.
Exactly.
Some of his attributes that will be very useful.
It doesn't make sense. I think Broja or Fofana, I can see him, but I'm not sure about Broja's return to health. He suffered a major injury, so it all depends. It usually takes a good season to recover mentally and physically. But if he can recover early, I can see Broja being a turnaround player, assuming he's healthy. And hopefully he gives Dutra Fofana time. I really want to see what he can do. I would prefer he not go out on loan. I would love to see Broja and Fofana. We may not need to spend money on a number 9 gentleman.
Yeah,
but
because
one thing is
they probably prioritize the midfield area.
Yeah, one thing is certain: we need to be more clinical. That's end of story. Period.
All right, thank you for that. Mount is a priority for Eric Ten Hag. Thank you for saying that. Thomas Baines and Constantine Dante comes at Roger. You're comparing Broja with Kane. No, that's not. I think that's what I did.
I just said that.
I think he says he has the potential to become good.
Yeah, I just said I'm not comparing him, that he is a Kane. I even used a disclaimer.
But of course, it's Roger. Constantine has to come at you. Today, he shamed me publicly, and now look at what he's doing. I don't like him anymore. He's not my friend anymore. But that's, by the way, people. I think this is the end of the show, and the last one from Constantine Dante. So, okay, Morph, take care. Chipchula, take care, my bro, Constantine Dante. Always nice to see you. Much love to you guys. Roger, thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. Thank you, Kai. I appreciate you. And Kai, the link ties you to China Chelsea Stations has been at the very top. You can also find it in the description section. I appreciate you all. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.
Adios.
Adios. Amigos.